I'm right back. I gotta go pee so I don't get a UTI. Okay. my Starbucks is here. Oh. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay, I got coffee. My salted caramel cold brew. Got a spinach feta wrap. Have a warm cup of vanilla. Wait, I forgot I ordered Starbucks and I made myself. I don't know what I was thinking. Okay, let's sign in. Captain Jet, Johnny Depp, Davy Jones, Giant Squid. Roger that.
Hello, Siobhan. How you doing today?
Hey, sorry, did you say something? I had to turn my AirPods down.
I just said hello and...
Hello, I wasn't ignoring you. I was just, I was jamming to the tale of Captain Jack Sparrow.
Interesting. Well, I'm surprised you didn't ride in on your motorcycle today.
You know, from above, I slept here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Bobby Charles Expungement Charity is how he's advertising himself in the yellow pages.
Yep. If he's a felon, right? Should he be able to have a hunting license?
Should he be able to operate a charity?
No, but he is.
He is a charity case by existing. To be honest. A violent felon? Pretty sure the legislation says violent. Mhm.
It's just a blanket felon for what's it called?
Group 6 or whatever?
Group 6, yeah.
Okay, yeah, but that's because it's bank money. You want someone who's been found guilty of fraud dealing with bank money?
No.
Okay.
No.
Can a fraudster operate a hunting rifle and live as a simple countryman out in the woods? Yeah.
You've been missing his twats recently.
Oh yeah? Has he been twatting that I'm Gossip Girl still? Because I'm not.
Oh no, he's been twatting where he's got the hunting rifle aimed at people's heads, and he's like, one retweet and I'll do it. Last person in his crosshairs was Mama.
I'm gonna be honest, I just read A Twat by Murphy Braun, and I sort of I in my brain just it combined what you were saying. And I ended up, I'm gonna tell you what I ended up hearing you just said, that Bobby Charles has been sprunking the lettuce at Senior Buns.
Yeah, I just read that one.
That I just combined what you were saying with that was something. Why, Scotty? Why do we have so many of these? Why?
There was one that was worse earlier.
Yeah, where's one yesterday I saw that was pretty out there? Oh, wow, Carmela's twat. Oh my god.
Yeah, I don't know which one that one was.
Something needs to be eaten severely.
Oh.
Really? You don't know what the something is?
No, I know. I'm not. Don't stop.
Stop. Sorry, did you say don't stop? I'll keep going.
I said stop.
He did in fact say don't stop.
Thank you. You heard that too.
Don't, and then pause, stop.
Meaning unclear.
Not unclear.
I think the classic Reddit thing is at this point when it would be like dick stuck in toaster.
Look at you looked at Scotty's, right? That one.
There's some things I wish I had never seen, and I can't unsee them now that I have seen them.
The Jeremiah Johnson one is kind of worse.
Look. Yeah. Look. So thirsty when I wake up. Should hydrate more. I'm just gonna chug water in the corner.
All right.
Look.
That's what happens when you don't go to bed with a full glass of water next to you.
Also happens when you scream at high pitch like she does.
Well, you know how it goes. Sometimes you just gotta scream at someone. Or everyone.
There's a vodka! By a gun! In my mouth! Oh fuck, man, I can't fucking do it, shit! Look.
She is drinking.
Eat some chicken strips! Chop my balls off! Back out in the sewer! Meet a giant fish! Fuck its brains out!
She's trying to get like all 8 liters just right now so she doesn't have to think about it.
I wonder if she's part mermaid.
So, that's an average day for you then.
Don't let rumors like that get out. Gossip Gal's gonna
Hell yeah!
I kind of wonder if I should let Gossip Gal see that one, see what goes with that.
Ow.
Gal does run with everything. Be worse to say, oh, Gossip Gal is her.
Wait, who? It's not me.
Oh yeah, it's definitely not you.
It's not. I swore it under oath.
I
Last
know
night.
it's not you. It's that I'm 90% sure it's not. There's like 10% I think it could be.
Oh no, I just twatted I twatted a blank twat. This was the most... Oops. Fuck.
Hey, look at Bringle's twat earlier. That one's something to read. You already know that one, Arthur.
Which, out here in
Oh, yeah.
Amish, smoking big doinks in Amish? Is that it?
No.
No, go to
Sudi?
about 2 hours
Judy
ago.
Viking
Yeah.
funeral?
The Suno. What?
No. You go down just.
Dude, I need you to jump up and down on the bed while my
Past the
penis
one.
is in the butthole for Jesus. That's what Sudi's... Sudi!
I mean, I don't think there's any denying that Jesus would appreciate it, but on Twitter, I'm not sure. Or whatever it's called.
You're supposed to leave room for the Holy Spirit?
Oh God! Oh God!
No. She's right. You do have to leave room for the Holy Spirit. That's why they have the Holy Trinity and all that stuff. It lets you know who needs to be there and who doesn't.
That's right.
Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit.
I just don't understand soaking, okay? As a Catholic, I'm just gonna say it. I don't understand it because here's my thought: just have the premarital sex and then go to confession after, right?
Yeah, no, they actually they have a whole route to absolution from that, and it's kind of a weird take. I think it's more of a kids thing that they do because they don't really understand how the whole process works and meant to be terrified of everything, so they just
Like how the
It was
French
even
Catholics have anal sex instead because they think that somehow is
Exactly.
okay. I got
Oh,
you.
shit.
yeah,
Jesus.
it's the same thing.
Right? They're like, doesn't count because it's not like P and V, so still a virgin.
Now, I was surprised to find out that that there's actually someone who shakes the bed. Now, there was a name for that, but
The jumper? I don't know what their actual
it's-
what the
yeah, there's
you know
a
what I'm
name,
talking
I
about.
can't
The person who
yes,
jumps on the
exactly.
bed.
Yep, that's the one. That one took me by surprise a little. I mean, not
We should just call them what they are. It's voyeurism. They're there to watch. Okay?
yeah.
They're there to watch.
They're there to watch. We know it.
We all know it.
This is Thoroughbred. Good to see you, man.
Yeah, nice to see you as well. How are you? How's your day?
Welcome to the conversation.
I'm doing all right. Yeah, sorry, I didn't want to intrude. It was a interesting conversation.
Very.
Nothing anybody doesn't know about.
True. Have you had an opportunity to read my essay, ma'am?
Oh, you did send me your homework. Let me go look at it right now.
Oh, fantastic. Is that Mr. Coldwater? Or apologies, Coldhammer?
Called him. Yeah, that's me.
Ah, Gus Fruman. I guess
Oh,
we've met
good
in person
evening,
now.
Mr. Fruman.
I was about to say, did you
Good to
say
meet you.
cold water?
Yes.
I've had so many mispronunciations
I'm
of
late.
the last name. At this point, if they get the first one right, I'm excited.
I'm freaking late.
Well, I won't do it again, I
Fine.
promise.
Let's
No
go.
worries,
Okay.
no worries.
Good luck.
Bye, everyone. I'll read your homework in a little bit, okay?
What
I'll grade
homework?
it. I gave a paralegal homework. I gotta read his
Wow.
Michael
You might need
Vinny
a mask.
essay.
Yeah, the mask thing will sort itself out. Let's run upstairs.
Okay.
It is true, though. The mask will sort itself out. He can spontaneously.
Bitch.
Wow, he really is a bitch. Down from one knee kick?
Yeah, I barely even touched him.
Yeah.
Watch out. Watch out.
Oh,
Knee bludgeon.
did you just get him in the balls?
Nah, I hit him in the knee.
Looks a lot like you hit him in the balls.
Surprise! Hiya!
Hello.
In my opinion, if you want to make a new law, I'm not
Sure,
gonna say
that's
no.
Why do you look like Vivek?
It's just like in my
Because
opinion,
I was Vivek the whole time.
in my opinion,
Oh,
it's gonna be just
God.
Please put on a mask.
like
It
upping the
won't
gun
help.
Charges. You still have to catch the people with the guns.
Yeah, I know.
So it's gonna be just as difficult. And I think that
There's
it's
one
going to-
solution, and I'm gonna
time
need
is over.
Okay,
need
sorry.
permission from higher ups to do it. So
I just think it's gonna hurt you guys more than it hurts us, to be honest.
I don't disagree with you.
Which meeting is this? 4? 5?
Yeah, 4.
4, yeah.
Are you ready, everybody?
No.
No.
Okay.
Michael, I swear to God.
What is it, Juna?
Get that cigarette out of my fucking face. It's like he's doing it on
Ask
purpose.
nicely.
What do you mean? I just quit smoking. I could strangle you right now.
Oh my god,
That's
this is
illegal.
Gus is the only person who's understood the fucking assignment.
Hypothetically, with love.
The only
Oh,
one who
so
stood
sweet.
understood his entire homework assignment.
Okay, good. 4th council meeting, begin!
I
am
Hello.
Max.
Hi, Max.
Today, we're going to begin with Michael Simone, who worked fucking hard as shit the last couple of days to write up some cool ass shit.
Fuck yeah.
I get to start again. All right.
Yep.
I only have 2 things so far that is done.
Mhm.
The rest is still work in progress stuff, and then I guess some of it is business stuff. And if that is your forte, we can
No,
just
no,
kinda-
no. Hold on. I read over it last night. It looks fucking perfect.
There's a few things I need to change, but
And
I'm
there's
glad
a few
you like it.
things we need to discuss.
Like what?
Like a lot that I've been
I gotta
trying to
validate
contact
myself
you
out.
about
I
for
didn't-
like the past couple of weeks, and you haven't responded to any text messages, Max.
Yeah, I've been waking up late.
Yeah.
Late.
All right.
Oh,
Well, in
wait,
that
wait,
case-
wait, 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 wait. What phone number were you texting?
Both.
I only have the one.
I texted both.
Hold on. My phone numbers aren't showing properly.
Yep. Max Thoroughbred, we need to talk about business shit. Exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark.
Hey,
exclamation
hey,
mark.
hey,
Hey, you guys want to have
No,
this
no,
privately?
no. Yeah, hold on. Michael Simone did a fucking awesome job with business shit. Did we need to?
We spoke. Michael and I met up while I was sick as shit, and he thankfully wrote some stuff up that we discussed. And there's things that he needs to change about it. The other thing that Michael and I couldn't come to a conclusion about was the comma stuff, because that was your idea, and we don't know much about what your goal is with that. So we could have written
Okay.
some gibberish, but
Chamber of Commerce wasn't my idea. It was an idea that was brought to me. It's a good idea, but I don't know how to make it work.
okay. Then why have we low-key promised people like a position on the
You guys
Chamber
need
of
5 before we
Commerce?
do the meeting. This seems like a
Yeah.
YouTube
Crane,
conversation.
quiet down, okay?
Oh my
This
God.
Oh my God.
Pipe down a little bit, all right? We can talk about this right the fuck now. Chamber of Commerce will come eventually, or not. That's the bottom line.
Okay, so you don't want to do it with the business stuff pushing forward soon or whenever? You don't wanna do it at the same
My
time, you
vision
wanna
for
do
the
it after
Chamber of
fact.
Commerce was to establish a way for the government to regulate prices, because guess what? It takes $3,000 for me to repair my fucking car right now.
Oh, thank
okay?
God.
You know what I'm saying? That's my vision. Okay, but there's a lot of variables to consider, which is why I've not begun to work on it yet, because I need to see if that sort of stuff is going to level itself out before I decide to say, hey, guess what? we, the Council of Eight, are in complete power and position over how much you get to charge for your stuff.
Okay. And then are we going to be like Kami earlier was just talking about a few things about establishing the whole union / guild stuff. We're going to be doing that at the same time. We're going to do that after the fact as well, because there's some alarming things that have taken place that if we do push for that to, you know, be shown to the city as a necessity, then it would be somewhat beneficial to the circumstances that are taking place this week or the weeks before. Kami could touch on that more, but like robberies and shit like that.
Honestly, I am shying away from the prospect of the whole union classification. See, there's no unions anymore.
Yes.
There's no unions anymore. And I talked to Lang. I talked to Jack Kellman, who changed his shit to Labor Co. because they were trying to do for-profit stuff, and I was like, listen, that's not what a union does.
Well, when has Juno had an opportunity to talk to Max this entire week?
Right? So I don't think there's any need to really like classify them, at least publicly.
I understand her point of view right now. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay. Then why did you have me go and talk to Lang about some of this stuff then? Is it just
I talked to Lang too. I'm not going to sit here and let you accost me in front of the council. I talked to Lang 3 fucking weeks ago.
About it, Max. You said you want to talk about it. Well, I
now is not the time.
You literally said you wanted to talk about it. Let's talk about it right now. Am I wrong with that? And I'm asking you a question.
You're going over shit that is 1 month old that I've already fucking handled. I got them to change their name.
Me this. You have not told me this, Max. When did you tell me this? And I'll be like, okay, that's my mistake. When did you tell me this?
How could you have ever possibly thought that this was the correct time to begin talking to me about this? How could you have possibly thought?
Let's talk about it.
I was trying to get your fucking back because you were making an ass out of yourself, but you kept fucking going.
I was making an ass out of myself, Max. How? How was I making an ass out of myself by asking the questions that I've been trying to ask you for weeks? And you're like, look, we could talk about this right now. Let me make a fucking ass out of myself in front of people then. If you fucking want me, if you're literally saying I'm trying to have your back. You literally, what do you want me to fucking say right now? I have not spoken to you in fucking weeks. And you want to have this conversation right now. So I asked you those questions. I entertained it.
Juno, look at Michael Simone, my deputy. Okay.
Okay.
He took it on himself to write up 3 great pieces of legislation by himself without any input from me. Why do I have to coddle you to make things?
I'm not asking you to coddle me, but obviously I need fucking questions from you so then answers from you so then I can move forward. Mind you, I've been sick as fucking shit, so of course I haven't been able to do anything for the past 2 fucking weeks. Doesn't mean I haven't woken up and spoken to fucking Michael about shit.
All right, it's enough.
Jesus Christ, Max.
Enough.
Anyone fancy a cigarette?
Yeah, actually, yeah. Here, I'll come over. Yeah, it's fine. Thank you, I appreciate it.
Right. Damn, I titled the stream Dae'Mar, and I didn't know that it was going to actually be Dae'Mar in here. Starting with Juno. I did not know.
Siobhan, do you have a
I'm
mask?
gonna fetch Crane.
I just tried calling him.
Crane needed to go change his fucking tampon.
I just tried
give him
calling
a
He
moment.
didn't-
Oh my
he
God, it
didn't
didn't
pick up.
work.
I'm sure he'll be back.
Here, try this. Just don't look at me.
I don't think.
Just try it.
Oh, I can't. That work?
Oh, it did. Hurry, give it back before my notices.
I looked at you. Sorry.
What the fuck, Siobhan?
I'm sorry.
Also, for the stuff that is marked as work in progress, everyone here is fine to add or delete or whatever.
Yeah, I made a couple of notes on one of those. I wrote my name next to the edit just so you know that I changed it and that words didn't just mysteriously appear next to what you wrote.
Dope.
I guess in general, yeah. Do you prefer us to kind of like add notes like in the middle of it in like parentheses, or would you want us just to put our feedback like at the bottom in a separate section?
Just add it. Yeah, just add it straight to it. If there's
Just in
shit
the
you
middle of
think,
it? Okay.
yeah. If you want to remove stuff, just like line. What do you call it? Fucking strike through it.
Yeah,
Whatever.
a strike through, yeah, just for
Yeah.
recommendations. So, all right.
Eda, is there anything you'd like me, your assistant, to add to the work in progress?
No.
A lot of this is just to have it in writing, basically. So there is something we can talk about if it comes to it, because some of it is just spitballing and some of it might be fluff or not necessary, or somebody has different ideas or different points of views. So
Yeah, you pretty much added in a lot of the things that we had discussed the other day. And then like the discussion that was had, when we were there as well by others that had good ideas.
I try.
You did good. You did good.
I appreciate your work, Michael. You're doing great.
Thank
I do
you.
as well.
I mean, honestly, given what we used to do, I know that we're breaking away from all of that. I mean, this is going to circumvent a lot of the same I guess it's going to circumvent a lot of the BS that we had to deal with previously. So this helps immensely.
Hey,
to
welcome back.
Avoid any of those reoccurring issues coming back. So I don't see any issues yet.
Hi there, Crane. I've taken up smoking as well. Thank you, you and Michael, for the recommendation.
All
I've
right.
taken up smoking as well.
The doctor is
So are we still starting with the Simone stuff then?
Yep.
Okay. The first thing I guess would be the drip mandate.
Medical liaison is smoking.
To put it in like TLDR, it is just to have people dress up in either uniforms or work attire for the job that they're doing, basically. It's not a dig specifically at G6 nor at Grime. It's just don't go out and do fucking towing in like Crocs and Mankini, and don't do lumber work in high heels and a skirt, like stuff like that. It takes you 5 minutes. It takes you 5 minutes, if not less, to put on a uniform if you do G6. at the end of the day, I don't care if you're standing around at G6 not dressed up, but the way I had to write it, just to make sure that everything is covered, is that the second you clock on, you could, in theory, get a fine for not wearing something that will identify you or as, you know.
Oh, what's the
job.
fine? Oh, it's
$1,000.
1,000. Yeah, I see
Yeah.
that.
So this means when I can't sleep, I can't walk in my pajamas and clock on to go over my notes.
In theory, no. And again, it's up for, we could change it. I had it at first that it would only be when you do work. But due to how some jobs work, it's hard to distinguish because say what is it? I think sanitation workers can grind shit. Basically, meaning that they can get caught. Like they're in an area where, you know, wearing a dress could be an issue.
Right.
Just because of all the
Yeah.
machinery they have around.
Safety issues and whatnot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Safety
No, I
concern.
get that completely. I mean, look, I have no problems with it, honestly, because it doesn't take me but a second to change my clothes. But
I mean, I'm fine with the idea for similar reasons, but I don't know if I'm okay with fashion police at the end of the day. Like that's where like my hang up is. Like I do like the standards. I do think you know, kind of in the line with the mask mandate stuff. Like maybe something is needed, but the enforcement side of things is where I get a little like maybe we're overreaching a bit
Like,
much.
yeah, some of this is a bit vague. So people being fined for it, like when it's if you're not wearing visibly Group 6 uniform during Group 6, sure, that's clear, that's cut and dry. But when it's like you vaguely have to wear something that makes sense doing tow, it's kind of like, well, who determines that?
That's on the
Apparently me.
The police.
Yeah, that is on at their discretion.
Yeah.
I will support you privately, Michael. I think it's a great idea. Publicly, I'm gonna vote no, so Reed Dankleaf doesn't murder me.
Yeah,
fuck
Reed.
Yeah.
Reading won't be happy
He
about that.
he wears
come up with these
cardboard
meetings
and
so
a
many
pan
times.
on his head.
Wait,
Yeah,
what?
that man does not wear pants.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. He wears underwear, and well,
What job would you be worried about him for then?
Well,
Any of them. all of
actually, I
them.
will say though, when he's working at the hospital, he is wearing full scrubs. He does wear the uniform.
Okay, first of all, that
It
took a while.
a lot of convincing.
That took
Oh,
a
did it?
Yeah. We worked
Yes.
up to that point.
Oh.
yeah, we
Philippa
got there.
worked very hard on that.
On a unrelated note, Dr. Cantor, I gotta talk to you about something after.
Oh boy, all right. Hell
Like
yeah.
again, I'm fine with having it changed. The way it started was basically, again, G6 being the fucking issue. Like, say you roll up on a scene, you have people that do G6 dressed in all black. That's getting robbed by people dressed in all black. Who do you shoot? You have no idea who the fucking worker is.
I've
I can
literally
see that.
witnessed that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they don't shoot anyone. That's kind of like the thing that they do, right?
well, that's something we got to talk about too, because
Yeah, that's starting. To be a thing.
I said to you guys that I would start issuing civilian gun licenses when criminals
yeah.
had guns.
Apparently they do.
I've got forwarded a couple reports of tampered firearms that came out of nowhere. So
I got reports from one of my doctors that she knows people have
I'm,
guns, not stolen ones.
Bro, I know people who have guns.
yeah, I'm considering a slow rollout of firearms to highly select individuals like G6. The problem I have is, so far as I know, and again, my information may be outdated, but one of the primary guys running G6, quote unquote, is the Alexander River guy, who, if everyone isn't aware, is the guy who was hired by the PD, got a weapons license through the PD, bought a civilian handgun, went to a Group 6 meeting that he organized with like 30, 40 people, and then waved the gun around and said something to the equivalent of, I know Crane in the government and we're all getting gun licenses. So I'm kind of torn
we don't want to
because
reward that, yeah.
I want to work with Group 6, but I don't know who I would work with to get recommendations on who's a reliable employee. So it's the same problem that Michael's having of like, we could set up a uniform, but who would enforce it? And if it's only the police, then it's kind of like, I feel like industries should set their own standards, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I get the argument that Mike was going for. Like, these are government industries; they don't really have a manager. Like I said, I'm all for the concept privately. Publicly, yeah, I don't know about fashion police. I could maybe see a safety need for Group 6, but
Fashion
not the other
police.
jobs.
I love fashion
let's skip
court.
Group 6 then. Michael has an idea.
Wait, no, I'm confused. First, Kermie, you have a question?
I can wait until Michael's done.
Okay. Wait, what?
The idea for a gun license rollout.
Oh no, it's more. So the issue, Crane, is as much as I want to roll them out as well, I want, if anything, I kind of want a trial period where we would see how people react to it, because even though there's guns around now, people are still gonna get beat down and have their shit stolen.
Right, and you know, hey, I'm right there with you. I'm saying that I've gone from hell no, absolutely not to we probably should start considering rolling them out, because I've always said if there's illegal guns on the streets, then it's not so much of a problem of PD guns anymore or civs getting robbed.
Yeah,
it's more so an issue of preventing people who are clean, because we said no non-felons can work Group 6, so if they're actually clean people, they should be able to be given a chance. I don't know.
Is there ever a scenario in which someone working Group 6 doesn't get charged with a like whatever the charge is for shooting somebody? Because the way that the stand your ground shit is written, there's plenty. Like if they're at the Pacific Vault, for example, you know, there's tons of places that they could run instead of shooting the person that's trying to rob them. So at that point, what purpose does a gun serve for any of these guys when the law doesn't even protect them in using it?
So the distinction would be, Max, the specific tenet about property and defending property was used by folks to, and I'll give you the most common scenario. I have a nice car. I park my nice car outside of an event. Someone comes up and starts lockpicking my car. I am outside of the event having a cigarette. I witness them lockpicking my car. Under the previous language, I could tell them, if you don't stop lockpicking my car, I'm going to shoot you in the face. And if they didn't stop, I would be within my rights to shoot them. In the case of Group 6, if armed gunmen swarm your, let's say, delivery location, and you have some people running the bags in and out, and one person, let's say, standing guard, and armed gunmen start approaching you, you as the person standing guard, to prevent yourself being, you know, held up at gun/knife point, could warn them that you're armed and draw your firearm and deter them. In that sense, yes, before firing, you might be required to see how they react to you pointing a gun at them. But in terms of brandishing the firearm, you'd be within your rights to protect yourself that way. Because at that point, you don't have any indication of at least this is how it would play out in court, right? You don't have any indication as to their intent. So if someone runs at me with a knife and I pull my gun and I say, hey, motherfucker, I'm going to shoot you, you know, then it sort of ping pongs back to them to either continue running at me or to back off, right? But again, I'm kind of, as I said, torn on some of this because I don't know if I trust the Group 6 people.
Okay, idea, real quick. Jesse Adler and her gang tried to kidnap my wife and I from City Hall again last night. Again.
Wasn't she supposed to be your fucking security now?
No, that was Paige Malone.
Oh.
Yeah, Jesse Adler's a different person. Why don't we just give ourselves gun licenses as trial?
So I was gonna say something. So I think Max and I had a quick conversation. I was gonna recommend that, first of all, why are people able to check? Why is it public that we own a license to carry a firearm?
Yeah, regular people can see what kind of cars you drive, what kind of licenses you have. Michael and I were talking about this, and it makes sense that should only be something that the police could see, right? Unless we're missing something.
I would agree. I don't know if that's...
It has always been the case that publicly registered houses, firearms, etc., are on the public record.
Like, it makes sense for properties to be publicly known, right? But like, why do people don't need to know if you've got a weapons license?
Well, for example, if someone claims to be an attorney, you should be able to go to the city hall and confirm that.
Well, make that one visible. Make the other ones invisible.
The reason we
I
talked
can
about
ask
is
about that.
Yeah,
Thank
the
you.
reason is because say we do a trial run for gun or weapons licenses to the people in this room, minus Kermie and Alex. They can just walk up and they just casually look up my profile or Max's profile, and they can now see that he has a weapons license, meaning that people are very quick at making conclusions that okay, he has a weapons license, so now that means he also has a weapon. So let's find Max and yoink that weapon and add that to our collection. Instead of it would be word spreading or Max being forced to use said weapon before it is known. Like at some point, everyone is going to know, obviously. But it is also a prevention to just have it out there publicly for people to just, see
the
that.
first person he stands his ground against won't know. That's for sure.
Well, that too, but that's probably fine, isn't it?
I can ask about making that a thing. I don't know the capabilities. I'm sure.
No, it's fine. It was just a discussion we had that it would make sense in a way.
Yeah, as far as like weapons licenses, I guess my stance is, yeah, I do agree a trial run is necessary with highly selected individuals, whether that's like just the people in this room or maybe some really pure civs that we might know off the streets. That could be something. But I do agree that a trial rollout is probably the best. I also think requirements should be extremely strict. I'm talking about like I would support something
Jesse
where it's
Adler
like
won't know what
if your
hit her.
gun gets stolen and you don't report it, you're an accessory to the crimes that gun is used
Well,
in.
that's already on the books.
Is it?
Yeah, that's already on. Well, you mean accessory to the crime?
Yeah, I'm saying like
that's a bit higher.
We already have criminal negligent ownership of a firearm.
Yeah, I'm saying they're even more negligent if you don't report it.
Yeah, but we can't prove accessory requires knowledge, and you can't prove that.
We're the council. We could very easily just make that a law, Crane. we could change the legal definition.
Lance.
I don't know that I would
Just
like to.
because you can doesn't mean
I don't know
you
that I would
should.
like to because now you're in a situation where
I'm clapping for Lance. I'm clapping.
The situation is very clearly you report your gun stolen. No, don't just claim ignorance after the fact because we all know this.
Oh no, I agree with that. I'm not sure. I'm thinking about cases where someone steals your gun and then immediately commits a crime with it, and I'm not sure if no offense, Nakota, I want to give PD the leeway to make that interpretation. But I mean, it's
And
something to think
also that
about. I don't know.
Having to nail down the timeline, it can become.
God forbid
More
cops
work.
investigate and use some discretion once in a while.
Really?
God
Lance gone to
forbid.
spine the past
I know
couple
that
meetings?
you did that
Did
a
he not
lot
have
too,
it before?
Malton, right?
On PD.
Yeah, I use discretion. If something doesn't make sense, I didn't push it. If someone commits a crime with a gun they just stole, I'm not going to charge the person with accessory. Like, Jesus Christ.
And that's why you're the civilian oversight board, not a cop.
Speaking of which, how's that going?
Oh, good question, Crane. How's that coming along? Did you read over the stuff I sent you yet?
Yeah, we are going to be pushing elections in the coming days.
There you go.
That Archie guy might off himself if he doesn't get voted in, by the way.
Oh my god.
Well,
oh my god.
I'm just telling you how it is, man.
I will not be held hostage by his accoutrement.
Could I say something if we're going to be seriously considering civilian licenses?
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
I had this on the books a while back. It's not something that I didn't know was going to be on the. I didn't know it was going to be on our to-do list today, but essentially, if we're going to be giving out licenses, I would like to get a plan in place where those are registered with us at PD with the serial and everything after you purchase it, so we have it on file.
Yeah,
Like
that's how we
class
used to do
twos.
class 2s. We could
Yeah.
do that for a limited rollout.
And then
Yeah.
I would
just like
also
class twos, that
like
makes
to
sense.
potentially down the line. I know we have criminally negligent ownership, but if someone is truly robbed of their firearm, I think we should have a maybe secondary weapons charge, like criminal possession of a registered firearm. If someone goes through the trouble of coming to PD, registering their firearm with us, and then it is truly robbed from them.
Is that worse or the same as?
Were you
tampered
saying an
firearm?
escalated like class 1 charge?
Well, I mean, I'll go down a rabbit hole here. Basically, part of my itinerary for today was to make the criminal possession of a class 1 a felony anyway and up it as should all the other possession charges with firearms. But I would like to make it its separate entity, because if a civilian's going to go buy a firearm and then they're going to come to the PD and register it appropriately, then I think that there should be a higher bar set for someone who robs that person. And I know, like Malton was just saying, if someone is robbed of their firearm, obviously there are protocols in place. Even if a person goes and commits an immediate crime with it, you can 911 that your firearm was stolen and then come to PD and try to make a report as fast as possible. I know if someone steals your gun and then goes and shoots a bunch of people right away, that will be a nuanced situation, which we will take into account. But, you know, at least personally, I believe in my ability to navigate a situation like that appropriately.
Yeah, I mean, I do believe a gun should be. I don't know if I want to go as far as registered. You know, it's kind of similar to the DRIP Act. Like, I'm on the fence as with a lot of things, but I don't know if it might be a little too overbearing, in my opinion, if people are required to register their firearms after this limited rollout, right? Like, I think the government has every right to know if your gun's been stolen as a safety concern, but I don't think it's an inherent safety concern that the government would have to know about just for purchasing.
Well,
one.
and I'll say this too, for civilian firearms, as far as I am aware, and you know, I don't think this has changed. When you purchase a civilian firearm from Ammunition or another reputable government source, the serial is tied to your state ID. So I don't think there will be any question of whose gun is whose if it's something that's robbed from a legal owner.
I also don't see how we would, because people can just walk up and do the paperwork then and there and then walk out. There's no way for us to make sure they come by PD and have it registered. I think the biggest problem is how many are they allowed to buy?
I don't see a scenario where anyone would need more than one gun.
Well, no, exactly. That's what I mean.
Well, you say that, but part of the accusations against River was that he bought a bunch and put them all in his apartment. It's happened twice now with fired cops.
Oh no.
Sounds like stockpiling.
Oh my god.
Anyway, so I'm open to all the suggestions made. Do we want to legislate any of them? Does anyone have any specific ideas of which we want to do right now? Because I can open the MDW and start writing. I just need direction.
Are we wanting to legislate for a limited rollout or just generic regulations?
How many do we want? Yeah, just limited at first, I'd say. How many do we want? Well, I was gonna say, all of us, and then do we want more? Because then we could all have one person that we would recommend.
Well, one point I will make is that if your reasoning behind wanting the weapons license taken off of a public profile is that you're worried about people being targeted, and then we do a limited rollout in legislation where we disclose that we're all being issued weapons licenses as part of a limited rollout, then we're all targeted because that's public and legislation.
Well, follow up. You know, I've been waking up late every night. I'm already targeted, so I don't really give a shit. There are people, a gang of 5 people rolled up last night to try and kidnap my wife and I again.
Yeah, listen, I'm not saying no. I'm just pointing out.
No, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I got robbed at knife point the other day. So
what?
Yeah.
Like where?
Just, you know, be a little more
right
tactical.
between the hospital and the clothing store.
If anybody needs rooftop training, I can take you on a tour of the south side, different ladders, vantage points.
I'm open to the limited rollout still. I know there's risk there, but I mean, I'm also in a usually safer place in the hospital most of the time, at least. So.
Well, yeah, because if
Hopefully
anyone
I won't get fucked up.
If anyone attacks the hospital, it's terrorism, right? Some shit.
Not anymore. No,
not anymore. Okay, so
that got way too complicated a long time ago. So
what do we do for us, people who are working out of City Hall, government employees who You know, every time I'm at City Hall, I've got my fucking wrench out because I know that some shit's gonna pop off, and it does every time. There needs to be a stricter punishment for people thinking that they can roll up into City Hall and kidnap people who work for the government.
No, I'd agree.
agree.
Yeah. Same
Didn't
thing
we
happens with
didn't
the
we up
hospital
those
all the
charges
time.
already?
Yeah.
I mean,
I want
I
want a new charge for people who work out of City Hall
Right,
getting
so this is my
attacked at
suggestion
City Hall.
yesterday.
Max, question. Is that the second time this person has kidnapped you?
Don't worry. My wife has already begun discussion about the ego act on this bitch.
All right, sounds good.
I mean, Matt,
no.
Are you basically advocating for a terrorism light? Like,
kind of.
I will also say,
it's gotten out of control. Normally,
Whatever-
I would.
whatever I'm
Normally,
gonna say.
Normally, I wouldn't, because I know the worry is, hey, Mayor 2 is like calling people, talking shit, like, hey, fuck you, bitch, and come try and get me,
No, I don't
and then
have a
hides at
worry.
City Hall. Okay,
I'm not expressing a counter or a worry. And I, God, however I say this is gonna sound like victim blaming. I may
We
suggest
chose this when we took the
no.
role.
I will just say, there are a couple options here. Number one, in the interim, I may suggest that if you know you are being targeted, it is perfectly reasonable that maybe we take meetings or hold audiences past the metal detectors on the second floor. I can talk to
Stop taking my food.
construction folks about maybe putting them at the front doors.
Can I get locks on my office door, please?
Because if you pass by the second floor into the inner, innards of the building, the guards take your, weapons.
I noticed for councilmen and women now that's no longer the case. Obviously, the aides would still be SOL, but yeah, we could go through metal detectors now just fine, similar to judges and police officers.
Yeah, look, if I got a gun in a spot where these motherfuckers get their shit taken, then that is perfectly acceptable to me.
Yeah.
I just don't want there to be a case where we feel like we can't work out of here because there are people that are circling it like vultures.
100%. I'm advocating for the concept that
hours in a cop car, so yeah,
as much as I enjoy the whole like sitting on the front steps thing, it's kind of playing with fire.
Yeah, I don't.
Okay, well, I'm gonna start playing with language and roll out ideas in a document. Do we want to go over other stuff while I do that?
Yeah. So I mean, it doesn't giving us all a weapons license doesn't have to be something that's even like written, right? Like for this little trial phase.
Correct. So what I was going to write is my idea for now is as the licenses are the purview of the DOJ, I will we don't even need to make it legislation. What we'll do to make it more subtle is we will update the punishments surrounding firearms, specifically what Malton discussed about making it a per se criminal act of accessory to have your firearm stolen, not report it, and then a crime committed with it. We already have that somewhat in that if currently the way that it works, just so everyone's informed, there are two charges. There's criminally negligent ownership of a firearm in the second degree, which is where your firearm is stolen, it's found on someone else that's not you, and you didn't report it. If that happens 3 times, then your firearms license is removed. However, criminally negligent ownership of a firearm in the first degree states that if your firearm is stolen, you don't report it, and a violent crime occurs with that firearm, then you automatically lose your firearm. So what we will do is we'll add a provision to both second and first degree to state that any crime, not just violent ones. So let's say somebody's out there leaving without paying and they've got your gun on them, or anything else absurd, right? Reckless evading and they've got your gun on them. You are an accessory to whatever crimes are committed with your gun, just as a deterrent to prevent people from. Actually, that doesn't work. It has to be with the firearm. Okay, I'll tinker with that. So I'll start tinkering with language, and I'll I'll get something to you guys like mid meeting. Let's go to something else.
Okay.
Well, if we're talking on the subject of firearms, I would love to go over some of the stuff that I am proposing.
Yeah, let's get those charges out of the way.
Yeah. So City Council document 2020. There's a lot on here, so I apologize.
I went over these last night. They all look good to me.
Making criminal possession of a class 1 a felony, upping all 3 possessions. As it has been stated previously, we have already, as a PD, recovered firearms that have been tampered with, as in the serial number has been scratched off and we are unable to identify where the firearm comes from. I believe that also needs to be upped. We arrested somebody who had components, we believe, of a firearm, which we potentially think could be used in the building of firearms.
Why is that one in bold? Is that because the charge doesn't exist, or?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry. So I'm proposing criminal possession of firearm components. Again, the language in that is, I'm open to help with that because, you know, I'm not an expert. I'm just trying to make it as simple as possible.
Logistically, is it? I don't know if this is on your list somewhere, but couldn't you just loop components in with accessories, or do you think that the time and fine needs to be this high on the components?
I believe they should be that high, yes. Because I think if someone's going to go through the trouble of procuring these, then they should be facing the consequences.
Well, no, I agree. I'm just saying, like, why? I guess what I'm getting at is what for a Glock slider, let's say. Why is that worth 35 months, or an extended mag is only worth, you know, whatever the charge currently, like 12 or something?
Oh, so you're talking about
Weapons attachments.
Attachments. These are so the components are specifically the pieces that are used to build the actual firearm itself, not an accessory. Or like
I want to just be careful here, Dakota, because what's the impetus behind making all these so high?
Deterring people from being in criminal possession of them.
Well, no, I mean like everything. Like manufacturing moonshine is 100 months, $4,500.
Well, that I need.
That's like
I'm
a
gonna need
murder
help
charge.
with. I need help on that one because while moonshine is illegal, right now under the current law, there's no manufacturing charge. So if we see a still out in the middle of nowhere, we can't do anything about it.
Why are the components more than a whole full gun?
Well, no, I guess hold on. So I'm making a larger point, which is in a vacuum, right? Numbers are being thrown out for some of these charges. And the more that we throw out numbers that don't fit with the current charging scheme, the more that it makes it just seem like everything needs to be increased. And the numbers I don't know.
I mean, look, I'm not a cop, you know, I don't have access to all the reports anymore, but like class 1, class 2, class 3 possessions, government employees being targeted, is this really, it's always a concern, but is it like trending upward? Like I don't know what I want to say. Like, is this becoming like a huge issue? like all these things,
and the other thing is
increasing numbers just to increase numbers.
Right, that's what I'm pointing out. And the other thing I'm trying to point out is that we live in a city where no matter how high you make some of these numbers, people are going to do these things, and just constantly increasing the numbers across the board, I don't know what it really does.
That's fair. The only thing I will say is 2 weeks ago, we sat here and made speeding $1,000 ticket and everyone was quite happy with that. So.
But that is because we loosened the regulations regarding
Yeah.
speeding, right?
And that was also in response to, not response, but it's very clear there was a lot of speeders going on in the city. We, as the city council, decided to address that by making changes to the speeding laws. I mean, you're the liaison. That's why I'm asking: is there a lot of reckless endangerments going on? Is there a lot of first degree and second degree murders going on?
That's what gets me. I understand if we want to discourage guns still. It's been nice with people not having them, but like, why does that mean suddenly we have to increase unlawful imprisonment by $2,000 and things like that, you know?
Look, I'm gonna say this as easily as I can. There are some considerations with times and fines that are gonna go beyond the council that you know, may just have to be adjusted. And we can vote on whatever we want, we can make the changes, but you know, I can't guarantee that there isn't a need in terms of the DOJ's side to balance some of these things.
I am perfectly fine with discussing some of these new laws that may need to be put in effect, because you know we just don't have laws on the books. But in a general sense, I'm against all these increases, and unless there's a real like public safety concern that we're just not aware of.
The other thing to consider, when I'm just speaking from experience dealing with times and fines, is that oftentimes you'll look at a crime and you'll go, that's a horrible crime, that should be this time and this fine. But we have to remember that crimes are not committed in vacuums, and they're often in clusters, right? So when determining times and fines, and this may be
They're
going
so
too into
stupid.
the
They always
weeds,
commit more than
it's
one
often
crime
good
at
to
a
look
time.
at scenarios.
Just
rather
commit
than,
one crime at a time.
individual For example, it's a 6 robbery. So under the current proposed structure, right? Hold on. So these upgraded charge proposals,
Delicious fried
let's
burrito.
say they do it with a firearm, a class 1 firearm, so that's $1,500. They robbed group
It's like a good
6
time to do
employee,
weights.
so that's $5,000. They're then found with the cash on them from the robbery. That's $3,500. I'm just pointing out, it's very likely that I could easily articulate how a group 6 robbery could be fined like $20,000,
I don't know, Dustin. That's crazy.
which I don't know if
I think I don't
Hey, you
think
know,
I'm
let's
not
stop
following
crime.
people when it gives me like
I
the
don't know
raid
what to say.
icon, and it turns out I was following them, and then I unfollowed them. I have to click it again. So like,
I'm not against increases to the firearm possessions, because, like I said, I if that's something we want to try to limit, that's great. But I think, yeah, you've lost me with the rest. I don't know if I can.
So is there a way to distinguish in here which one? I mean, I can kind of do it myself, but which ones are new charges? New charges. Oh, you have it labeled.
Yeah, you put them at the bottom. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't talk
So
slow.
the whole moonshine thing is very new to me. Do we know what I guess the
I've never been
effects
accused of talking
of
slow in my
it
entire
are,
life.
other than getting you drunk off your ass?
No idea.
Well, it makes you go blind eventually.
Pretty sure it
I've had
actually kills
moonshine.
brain
It
cells.
tastes like shit. Yeah.
Yeah, and smoking causes cancer. I mean, like
that's
shit.
very true.
Right, but we don't have a law that
okay with-
outlaws cigarettes. We have a law that outlaws moonshine.
I think
That's what I'm
that's the
saying.
point.
Like that's where I'm
That's
getting
why
at.
he's
Is
saying
I
we
don't
don't
know. Like,
need it.
I might be okay with moonshine being
Yeah.
legal, like personally, and unless there's something I'm missing here.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking for, like, you know, is it something like, is it an epidemic? Is it actually like harming people? That's kind of my thing, because like with manufacturing
Yeah,
it,
I mean, Kermit, you're basically up in Appalachia, you know, equivalent. Like, is there an epidemic going on up in Polito with moonshiners?
An epidemic?
I mean, I've heard
Nah.
people talking about it quite often, but like I don't hear anybody actually consuming it. So
So if it's okay with
yeah, go ahead. They asked.
Moonshine is normally only illegal because, you know, people make it on their own and they don't get taxed on it. So realistically, there's nothing wrong with moonshine
For some
besides
chatter.
Actually, do we even have alcohol in the 24/7s or anything?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's the only thing that's like moonshine is just not taxed
It's
by the
just
state.
non-regulated.
Yeah, it's not
alcohol,
regulated. So
yeah.
it's like that's really there's
So
nothing.
It could be bad for people. It could be untaxed. Yeah.
I'm gonna be real. Moonshine doesn't do shit to hurt you.
That's
It's
honestly
like-
fair.
it's
I
like
think we have to
joints.
test that before we want to make it
I've,
illegal. like,
I've
yeah.
allegedly tested it.
Okay,
I
fuck
think
yeah,
I
alright.
think moonshine should be decriminalized, and
Just kidding, I did actually.
if you're selling it, then you know there's like that unauthorized sales law or we have or whatever. You know, you're not a business, right? So you
That's
can't be
fair.
selling it.
I think
And-
selling it would be illegal, but
that's what
possessing
I'm
it shouldn't.
saying. Like, I think there's existing laws that cover that. As far as
Yeah.
like
I think I will.
manufacturing, I don't know how. Like, I'm just gonna straight up ask
And I can
you,
move out of
allegedly,
California where it's
Carmi,
giga expensive.
Do these sills have to be operated like near a river for like the water or anything? Like, is there a reason why this sill can't just be in like an approved business or approved location, right? Like, 'cause I have a problem with the manufacturing it on public land for sure. But
You do have a problem, or you don't have a problem?
I do have a problem. Like, I don't think you
Okay.
should just be setting up a sill in the middle of Mount Chiliad.
Yeah, fair.
But
So-
if you're setting one up in your house, like, who gives a shit, right?
With my
Like,
legal experience in the past, thanks to Crane giving me a law license for whatever reason he thought that was a good idea. I don't think it should be illegal to
Moonshine.
make it or to possess it, but I do think it should be illegal to sell it.
Well, that's what
Is
I'm
the
asking.
still
do you-
itself
Okay,
do you
hold
have
on,
to
hold
set
on,
up the
hold
still
on,
in the-
hold on.
Objection!
Stop. I gotta say something. Stop.
Okay,
Everyone,
overruled.
please stop for a second.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. I
For
was
me,
just saying it.
I'm great with you being here to take notes and all that,
Yeah.
but it is wholly unfair to Siobhan and Alex and anyone else who's permitted to be in here who's not part of the council, who is sitting here quietly taking notes for you to interject and have an opinion. It's not a personal thing, but we just got to keep.
No, it's
things
all good.
consistent.
I was just answering the question. My bad.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I know. So, okay. In
I was
terms
on the
of
nice
stills,
list.
I have a number of concerns.
Quietly
because,
taking
as
notes.
said, well, who cares if you put it in your house? Well, for example, I care if people are setting up a clandestine still in their fucking apartment, and there's no regulation or understanding of the person operating it, and they could, I don't know, fucking explode it by overheating it and cause fire or damage or anything else.
Yeah, that's why I
There's a
asked if they were
specific reason I
dangerous.
said house and not residence.
I mean, even then, do we want people operating stills in residential neighborhoods?
I got some firsthand experience with this. I ran across a guy and a lady out in Sandy, and they approached me and they were like, "Hey, we make moonshine." I was like, "Cool." They were like, "You're not going to report me to the police?" I was like, "It's not illegal." And then they were like, "Hey, you should make that illegal."
Oh.
Yeah.
Doesn't
How
moonshine
long
make you
ago did
blind?
this? How long
Yes.
ago did this moonshine shit surface? Like the talks of it, at least.
It seems like 2 weeks ago.
We've had the laws on the book for 8 years.
For 8 years, and it's been 2 weeks since you guys have heard about this shit.
Since my first personal encounter with
The
someone.
Has
I
there
dealt with
been,
I
like-
dealt with
Hold over
moonshine
law.
well before the
Yes.
collapse.
So I guess this question is more from the coder then. Has there been like any incidences from the PD's end with moonshine, like within those 2 weeks?
We're actively catching people with it on their person.
Okay.
Okay, so it's just the possession.
There
Like,
is a
are they
possession
inherently
charge,
doing
yeah.
other illegal stuff with it that you know
Well,
of?
Well, I'm saying they're actively engaging in crime, and we're catching them with it on their person.
So
I have some additional insight.
Mhm.
I've had maybe 3 or 4 different people talk to me about this because they're pretty bold about it, considering it's not illegal to make it, right? They said it's made with dirty sewer water.
No, it's not.
Oh yeah,
Is
Reed
it?
gave me a bottle of dirty sewer water.
Oh, I have
Oh.
heard. Yeah,
Not
there's a lot of
moonshine.
I think
Very
all the
dirty bottle of
ingredients
water.
is from
Or
the
just
sewers,
dirty
right?
dirty water in general.
I think it's like
I'm-
all dirty shit you use to make it.
Yeah, we should just make the manufacturing illegal, because the only way to not make the manufacturing illegal is to set standards for the manufacturing of moonshine and I am not creating what it amounts to a fucking EPA.
Oh, so
But, I
isn't
mean,
it just
on
a
top of
license to
that,
produce like alcohol? And
I mean,
it
on top
became
of
to
that, even though we haven't really heard about people consuming it as of yet, doesn't mean that they're not, and it doesn't mean in the future that they're not going to
Legal
get sick
states.
due to it.
Alaska allows moonshine for personal use only. Arizona must have a permit for
You're
personal
not
use or
yelling.
register the still.
You need to yell.
Sorry about
Personal
that.
use
I'm
on
gonna
own
circle back
property
again to
only in
cigarettes. Like, if
Massachusetts,
we don't
Missouri,
want people
personal
going down
use
in the
up to
sewers, if we
200
don't want
gallons a
people
year.
blowing
North
up
Dakota
houses,
only up to
I could
federally
get
allowed
behind
amount,
that, but,
0
at a
gallon.
base level, I think possession of it should be decriminalized. If you want to fuck up your own body by drinking moonshine, that's your prerogative as a citizen.
That's a
the
very
same as,
libertarian
smoking
approach.
and any
Lance
other
full
vice
libertarian.
that people may do.
You're gonna lose everyone as soon as you say moonshine should be decriminalized, and then people are gonna ask me for medical marijuana dispensaries. And
Lance
I'll
is
pull
the
out my
actual
legally
real
registered
libertarian
firearm,
here. Holy shit.
and that's the end of the
He
story.
went full victimless crime.
I mean, yeah, people are already going to ask for certain things to be decriminalized. Like, the question is, where do we draw the line? My line is cigarettes and moonshine are okay, personally.
Shouldn't
Not
the
meth.
production of
That's so
alcohol be-
American.
shouldn't the production of alcohol be done
is.
under
You know what? I'm
clean
doing this. I'm deleting
circumstances
myself
and
out of the
everything
yellow
just to
pages.
make
Stop
sure
calling
it's
me.
not dangerous?
Yeah,
but
that's
like
what
said,
Crane
do
was
we
saying.
really want to
Yeah.
create like a
The
an
EPA.
Do we
Well,
want to do
we
that? Who wants to do
FDA,
that? I don't want to do that.
Isn't it? Wouldn't it be easy to just say,
Wow.
don't
Wow.
fucking do that shit in your backyard? If you want, you have a business.
I mean,
And
but
who
it's-
inspects it? Who oversees it? Who writes the?
Nobody, because we will never accept it.
But then, like,
Oh,
with,
then why
with
do
like
it?
the whole
That
Then
one
why-
guy wanted to be an
the whole
FDA
That's what I'm
instructor.
saying. Then just make it illegal.
Whatever, an instructor.
Yeah,
cigarettes
make it
and
illegal.
manufacturing that stuff. There's
FDA
clearly a label on it. You know,
agent,
there's
right?
clearly you know, the ingredients to make cigarettes are not illegal. You know, you've got tobacco plants and whatnot. I mean, apparently
What is
there's
the
sewer
illegal
water.
ingredient in making moonshine?
I mean, it's not necessarily illegal, but I mean, sewer water. That's fucked up.
Carcinogens
it's-
and cigarettes
That would
are fucked
never
up.
that would never get approved at all.
I think the argument would be when a business sells alcohol, it is under certain stipulations, right? Like it has to meet certain requirements and be
Yeah.
under certain levels. If someone is just going into the sewers, grabbing whatever shit they want, going back to their house, making something that no one sees or regulates, and then selling it to somebody, that's a little bit different than if Jack Daniels sells you a bottle of whiskey.
I think we're
Yeah.
all missing the point. I think a lot of us are agreeing that we can't manufacture this point. I'm saying possessing it and drinking it, that is an individual choice that should be up to the individual, not regulated by the government.
So
I think we should regulate the safety of others. That's why we regulate firearms and drug uses from tweakers or anything like that. But people aren't getting fucking wasted on moonshine and then going out causing public
But
disturbances.
if we decriminalize possession, aren't we encouraging the market?
Correct.
We're encouraging the illegal manufacturer because we're making a decriminalized legal market of buyers.
yeah, that is true.
I mean, that's just an argument to never change anything that's currently illegal to possess currently. We're not encouraging
Lance
the
is so
production of it. We're
libertarian right
saying,
now.
hey, it's your choice, man. If you want to drink some moonshine and not commit any other crimes, why should we as the government try to stop you from
So
doing
wait,
that?
no, I disagree though. You're saying that if manufacturing is illegal, but possession is decriminalized, you don't see how there's a different size of market if possession was criminalized?
I see what you're saying, but I don't think I still think the individual right to do what you want with cigarettes or moonshine or even marijuana, if we want to go that far, I just think it's a personal choice at the end of the day. And if people want to consume that kind of stuff, hey man, it's your body. You're gonna fuck it up in the
mean,
long term, but that's your
You
choice.
could start applying that to everything, though. Then why not make
Yeah, where does it
possession of
end?
meth legal, possession of
Where
heroin,
does that end?
possession of metamorphic? Why not? You know,
It ends because
It's
certain
powerful.
drugs are public health concern. Traditionally, we are okay with marijuana
So is
use
moonshine.
Yeah.
People go blind.
meth, PCP, metamorphine, bath salts, whatever you want to call it, people tweak out on this shit and they go on fucking rampages. Okay, people are okay with the weed because people just chill out in their fucking house and smoke it all day or pop their edible or whatever the fuck they do. I have yet to see an example of people getting just wasted on moonshine and just going out and committing a tear on it. You know, if we're saying what kind
You've never
of
been to West Virginia, then?
You're right, I haven't, which is why I'm giving my opinion based off of my experiences on this council. I'm saying I'm saying that in terms of the effects of it on your body and what it causes to the general public
That what
is
he did?
much closer to weed and cigarettes than it is to meth.
Right, correct. But the part that I'm not concerned about the individual making the action. I'm concerned about if you have a large population of consumers where it is decriminalized, and then you make it, you know, extremely expensive and highly regulated to be part of the manufacturing process for a decriminalized substance, much like, I don't know, marijuana. You then run into a situation where it is more profitable to hire a bunch of goons with illegally tampered firearms to operate a ring out of grapeseed to produce marijuana and moonshine than it is to be a regulated part of the economy. And I think that by encouraging a decriminalized populace for a criminal substance, you are essentially
Hashtag.
encouraging that criminal gang network activity.
So, what do we think is a, I guess, a reasonable time and fine for the manufacturing of the moonshine?
I'm completely open to anyone's thoughts on that. So
What is the charge for cultivation? It's a felony. That's 25 months, $940. What is the charge for?
So the manufacturing charge you have set to far higher. It looks like
we can
to similar, yeah.
Yep, I have no issue with that.
Right now, felony possession with intent to distribute for drugs is $10,000, 150 months. These are offenses against public health and morals, which is where this would follow.
Right.
Forgery of medical documents, 2,000. Cultivation of marijuana, 1,000. Prostitution, 2,500.
Say that since we're not arguing an intent to sell or anything, it probably doesn't need to be nearly as high as felony intent. So probably closer to the cultivation is my thoughts.
Like 1,500 maybe is in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Time would looks like offenses against public health and morals were averaging anywhere between
25 and 45 months.
Yeah. The outliers are down there under 10. The outliers are above 50. So 25, 45. So 30, 35 months, something like that.
Yeah.
35, 1,500.
Okay. Can
35,
anybody disagree with that?
No, I think that's good. I don't think
Nope.
it's too overbearing at all.
I'm good with that.
If it's ever a problem, it could be reassessed later. It's a good
Okay,
starting point.
I will create that charge now. I'm going to go through, Nakota, your council doc and just marked which things get enacted.
That's absolutely fine.
What's the next charge on the list?
Robbery of a security firm. For 50 months, 5K fine.
Do we not have a suitable charge? Is there not anything that fits, Nakota?
I mean,
isn't it that just like isn't it just aggravated theft or whatever it's called?
You could define what happens to them at the vault as something already on the books. I think what Nakota's trying to push for is a harsher charge.
I'll be honest, I'm looking to get more specificity in these because it always seems like how do I say this?
The G6 robbery, that's aggravated petty robbery, isn't it?
My thoughts are, why would this be more than
And I
more of a
can
fine than
okay.
robbery of a financial institution?
Well, no, we can, again, I'm open to adjusting charges and whatnot. My main concern is to identify things that are becoming more prominent and making sure that they are addressed like directly.
This is just aggravated petty robbery.
Is that a charge?
Yes.
Aggravated robbery? Okay.
Yes, it's currently at like 36 months and something. I don't know what the fine is, but it's basically when you
honestly, yeah.
use weapons to rob any individual, not just a Group 6 worker.
So it's 36 months and a $1,400 fine.
Yeah, and if you're robbing a Group 6 worker, you're probably robbing 2 to 4 of them. Times that by 4, up to 4, I guess.
Well,
Does it stack
yeah,
individually?
Malton, if you were coming into the cells and I was charging someone with 4 times aggravated petty robbery
Oh,
for
they'd
4
fight that.
individuals, would you
Yeah.
would you let me do that, or would you make an argument against that?
For each individual, or would it just be for the incident itself?
Are they
I would do my
robbing?
job as an attorney and argue it, Dakota, just as you should do your job as a cop and push the charges you think are relevant. If you think a 4 times applies, you should definitely push it. If I don't, I should definitely push against it. And then if they want to contest it, that's what the courts are for. So I wouldn't stand for it, but that's my job as a
Okay.
defense attorney to not stand for it.
Well, I'm asking you as a city councilman, not as a defense attorney right now.
Oh, well, then if you're asking me as a councilman, I think that according to the charge, it says just one person. So, yes, everyone, they should get 4x by the definition of the law if they rob 4 Group 6 workers.
What if they're only taking items out of the back of a vehicle?
Then you argue that.
And then you argue it.
Okay.
Nakota, I think what Malton's getting at is that there is a constant push and pull between the DOJ and PD, as has been forever, where PD wants everything spelled out perfectly so that there is no argument either way, and DOJ wants laws that are created with the understanding that the legislative body puts ideas into place and the judicial wing establishes the parameters of those ideas.
Yeah, but you see, like, they don't look. No offense, Dakota, you sound very educated, but most cops haven't graduated like high school and shit. So they need it spelled out for them.
No, they don't.
Well, they can just lose in court if they haven't put in the effort to know what they're doing.
Yeah, that.
I also, this is obviously I'm an advocate for the DOJ here, but if someone isn't going to make use of the rights that are known for them, I mean, stupidity goes both ways. If a cop is too stupid to push a charge, that's one thing. But also, if the suspect is too stupid to get a lawyer to contest those charges, that's also on them.
Okay. This is an excellent discussion. I'm not trying to cut anyone off, but we have a lot of shit to get through today. What's the main takeaway from this whole discussion?
I think robbery of a security firm already exists and
Yeah.
aggravated petty robbery.
I don't know
All
if
right.
necessary or not.
Let's do a quick vote because it seems contentious. Do we enact robbery of a security firm, blah, 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 person thing?
No.
I vote yay. Nakota?
I vote yay.
No.
Nay.
Mr. Crane?
What's the time and fine of the aggravated petty robbery?
36 months and $1,400 fine.
I
don't
think
understand they
if
should hire a
you
lawyer to
remove
learn.
the
Or bring back
that-
law schools as part of PD Academy.
Okay, I think that much
my
like
take.
robbery of financial institution, I'd be okay with this charge if we made it a blanket charge for the ease of police. So
Okay.
for Mr. Thoroughbred's interpretation, in the past we used to have bank robberies. Cops would need to charge for the joyridden vehicle, the possession of a gun, the possession of drugs, the hostage, the reckless evading, the potentially all those things, right? And what we did was we made one charge that encompasses the entire act.
That's actually a good
So,
idea.
for example, we could make a higher
Like
time,
gang-related
higher
shooting.
fine charge like robbery of a security firm that just made it so that literally everything involved with robbing Group 6 would be one charge. So if you're caught robbing Group 6, you just get the one charge, that's it. It's high time, high fine, it's easy for the cops. The only time that would change is if it got violent and there was, let's say, a stabbing or a shooting, and then everything would be broken out. I would be okay with that, with the understanding that part of the all-inclusive charge would be the inclusion of the possession of the cash. Therefore, we could implement both charges So the cash would be just, let's say you arrest someone for joyriding or they're speeding or something, and it's not their car, and then you find cash on them accidentally. You could still charge them and use that charge. But if you find them with the cash as part of the robbery of a security firm, then you would not use that charge.
Yeah,
I'm fine with making it an umbrella.
I would be okay with that as well.
I think that I like that better. Is it still okay? So under robbery of a financial institution, part of it is even just or commit a felony that may affect economic or institutional stability. Could this not be an overarching charge for?
There was already a long debate
Well, that's
about
what robbery
that.
of financial is. Yeah.
Exactly. Like, could it not apply?
That's a good question.
to
Why isn't that
these?
being
'Cause
used
it-
for Group 6?
Yeah, 'cause it's a commit a
Because
felony that may
it
affect
was
economic or institutional
tried.
stability.
Yeah.
an
All I
there.
can say is there was a lot of semantics about where they actually were when they were robbed.
Yeah, but there's an or. That's what gets me. Like, the first part, sure. You know, it's
Institutional
they didn't.
stability.
Yeah. Well,
Right. Any person or group who enter a financial institution.
or there's an.
If I'm out front of the vault, like, and this is actually a question that I'll ask all of you because I had this question presented to me as well. If I'm out in front of the vault in my Group 6 van and I'm taking the pallets off the truck, but I'm not in the vault yet, or I'm not in the front
Yeah, because
door
this
of
was
the
written when
vault,
we didn't have cash transits. Okay.
Right.
So, do we want to just rewrite robbery of financial to make it so the wording includes Group 6? Is that easier?
I
That would
don't
probably
mind
think it
that at
should,
all.
I don't mind that. Fuck it.
Actually, I think
because
that's a good
at the
idea.
end of the day, as far as I'm aware, Group 6 is transporting cash for the banks.
That's a really good idea, and I agree with that. I think they
Okay,
should.
so let's just change the language.
Agreed.
Is anybody not okay with change the language? Max, what do you think?
I don't care, being honest.
Good idea.
I kind of liked it the way that Nakota initially proposed, but then you spoke and everyone kind of changed their mind.
Well, I will say, Mayor, that one of the reasons why I wrote it the way I did was because there was contentious conversations within PD about whether or not robbing a Group 6 truck was robbery of a financial.
Yeah.
And
I
that's
like
why I wrote it like that.
clarifying that.
But if we're going, if everyone is okay
hold
with
on.
it,
No. I think there's something we haven't thought of.
Yep.
If we use robbery or financial and we change the definition, and then let's say down the road these guys get more capable and more audacious, and they rob the actual city vault, there's no way that should be the same time and fine.
I agree.
So we, oh, fuck.
I think it's a good idea. I think the overall encompassing charge is a good idea. Plus, once again, no offense, Dakota, but most cops are fucking stupid, and this would make it a lot easier for them to do their job.
Okay, I'll whip up language that makes it all inclusive. Give me a sec.
Okay.
In the meanwhile, are we all in agreement that an all-encompassing charge for this particular crime is a good idea? Any nays? All right. Unanimous. Good. Let's keep this ball fucking rolling. I believe Mr. Simone was interrupted in regards to his drip act.
Well, I guess we were talking about it.
Yeah.
But it seems like it's some people are for it, some people are against it. Again, I'm not trying to be the fashion police. I'm just trying to make it so people wear the appropriate attire when they're doing their job. I don't think that's unreasonable.
I think the best point Simone made here is that it's a matter of public safety. To assist the police officers in identifying the threat. If there's, for example, there's a fuck ton of Group 6 robberies, there's a fuck ton of sanitation robberies and people taking people hostage on the fucking street just trying to do their job. It helps them identify the threat with a little bit of gentle urging in the way of a fine if they don't do it from the government. I think it's a great idea.
I'm okay with piling on the regulate the Group 6 workers given their economic status, shall we say?
Okay,
But,
so
other state runs, I'm like really on the fence about.
So
Yeah,
what you're
I'm
saying
not
is
trying
that
to see people in mini skirts and stilettos cutting down trees, though. So, like, I get that. Yeah.
Well,
Anything
it's
that
either
requires,
or.
like a hazardous environment, you want to have the proper attire. So yeah, I get.
We're
that.
not enacting EPA. Should we really be enacting OSHA?
Oh
I
shit,
think of it, like,
Lance,
it
the
becomes
real
who
libertarian
decides
in
that,
this
you know,
room
like,
again.
Some things are
Holy
obviously
fuck.
absurd, but what if a cop decides that something's a little bit
Holy
ambiguous is too
fuck.
much, so they charge someone with it and
Take it to court.
everyone else?
Yeah. You know,
yeah, I guess,
if
but
someone if
I
someone's
love
in the
fashion
police
court.
force is overstepping their
1K?
bounds, well, people go to traffic court all the time. You know,
Yeah.
it's just a matter of
Yeah, but like traffic court, you know, it's usually a lot more cut and dry. They just need proof of whether or not they're speeding or not. Like,
You
who
take a picture of the
decides
outfit, you bring
whether
it.
fashion. I
The-
suppose so.
then the
Cops-
judge
yeah,
becomes the
judges literally
fashion
become
judge.
Fashion police.
Yeah, hey,
It's
look, man,
crazy.
fuck it, dog, fuck it.
That is
You know,
pretty fun.
Want a fashion
yeah.
court?
I mean, if
Fashion
it becomes
court.
an
Would be
issue, we can always
entertaining.
revisit it, right?
I have
Yeah.
the perfect judge for fashion court.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Look,
There's this guy Jerome Henry Jackson. I don't know if you
Oh,
met
yeah,
him.
fuck
I
that
met
guy.
I met
I
Jerome.
don't
I
like
met
him.
Jerome.
Jerome could run fashion court in his sleep.
He absolutely could. Yeah, yeah. fuck it,
Siobhan
why
used to
not?
run
All right,
fashion
if,
court.
if this turns out to
I
be
used
too
to be the
draconian or
fashion
the
court
cops are too inept
judge.
to actually enforce this, we can revisit this. But for now, let's
I
give
used
it
to
a
be the
fucking
fashion
shot.
court judge.
All on the Drip Act. Any nays?
It was me.
Nah.
Motion
I'll go with it
passes
as is.
7-1. Wait, what'd you say, Philippa?
I was just saying, I'll go with it as is. Fuck it, we can test it out. I
Okay.
like giving things a try.
Yeah, if you read the last part, it's up for amendment or revisiting
Exactly.
or revisions,
I mean,
etc. Like, there's
anything
nothing
is.
set in stone. So if we feel like it's too much or too little,
The longest
You can be
serving
changed.
fashion court judge in the
Fuck,
history
I
of Los
shut down our
Santos.
doctors for dumb shit way too often. So I get it.
As long as I don't have to oversee Reed's fashion court, I'm a yay.
Oh god.
nah, you'll be fine. I'll do that.
Okay,
I'll chew in the fuck out.
7-1.
Yep.
The Drip Act
Perfect.
passes.
Yeah, sure. Fuck it.
Hey, by the way, I had to change the language, so just make sure you're all on the same page on this. It said or possession of any Group 6 worker. I changed it to any Group 6 worker who is currently on duty making a secured financial delivery.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay.
Okay.
Because I don't want them being like, well, I got
I work
robbed and
for
I'm a Group 6 guy. Blah
Yeah,
blah blah.
yeah. No, that's not how that works.
Okay. Next, Mike.
Yeah. So the other one is the VDM mandate. It's Crane. Do you remember when we removed the charge where cops could basically charge if you were missing a door, bonnet, whatever, if your vehicle was
roadworthy
on?
vehicle.
Exit
I
tickets.
Never-
remember that one.
In my time, I don't know if that's ever existed. That may have been before. my time.
It was before your
Yeah,
time,
that
Craig.
was a very long time ago. So I actually have.
That was my
questions
time. That was the
about this,
beginning of my
especially
paralegal career. I got a
given,
fix-it ticket for
I don't know,
like
the
my
current state
blinker
of
being out.
things, Like,
They like changed that ride
not to
around
be
the
that
time
person,
Siobhan got her
but
bar license.
headaches, bubbles,
Thank
things
God.
of that nature.
That
you
doesn't
know?
matter. No.
That should
So-
not ever be
Like
part of our
how-
No,
discussion.
no, it's not. It's
Okay.
not. Okay, so
Like how
at first,
how yeah.
okay,
Yeah,
at
it was
first,
2.0.
I had it in
They
there that if
carried
you're
over
missing
in
a
the
door
beginning of
specifically for
3.0
G6
and then it went
vehicle
away.
or
But I
a,
remembered people getting
Grand
charged.
truck, because they are transporting
Oh my
shit,
god, I
and
remember
if
getting pulled
they're missing a
over
door, that means they don't
by
care about their job, and people
Wrangler
just run up
or
and snatch
Wrangler
shit.
and Bloom
I've
once
removed
because I
that,
was missing a
meaning
door
that
in a
if you're
car.
driving a vehicle, that gives the PD a how the fuck did I say it again?
I wasn't driving, I was a passenger and I
possible
talked us
co-
out
no,
of
that's
it.
not
I
it.
said that we were on our way to
gives them a reason
Mosley's
for
and
a
you could
stop.
follow us,
Yeah.
officer. And he's
Basically,
like,
that
I
they can
fucking
use that
will.
your shit
He
bucket
followed us all
is
the way
missing
to
doors,
Mosley's.
bonnets, whatever, and they can just make the assumption based on that you're not taking care of your vehicle.
Mhm.
That gives them a reason to look under the hood. So we're not charging them for driving a shit bucket that looks like shit, but we're looking at the interior. Is it interior? Fuck, I'm cooked. We're looking at the
I have this
parts
one.
in the car. So brakes, engine,
Internal
etc.
mechanical
That's the
integrity
one.
is the
We're
word.
looking under the
Yes.
hood.
Basically, because we're not charging them for driving a car with missing doors. We're charging them for not taking care of their vehicle. In the long run, and again, I hate the fact that I have to use percentage, but the current tool will tell you
No.
that your vehicle is
Percentages
in
is
bad
fine
condition
because
when
you
it's
use percentages
75%
on your
or below.
brakes. Like if you're
Mhm.
like
And it
if
hurts my
your
soul.
brakes
But
are
that's
less
very
than
like it's between 50
60%,
to 75%.
a
That's
car
bad
dealership, most
condition,
car
quote, unquote.
dealerships on a used
I feel
vehicle
like that's
will
too
outright
much.
replace the brakes if it's less
When
than
Basically-
you're
60%.
driving around with like a smoking engine and
No.
it's gonna
Before
catch
selling you
fire.
the
No,
car.
no.
It's
the
like
smoking
part of
engine
a lot
is
of-
if you drive like
I wanna
a
say it's
psycho
part of
and you
like
keep hitting shit.
California
At some
state
point,
law.
it's gonna start smoking. But
Right.
you can still, in
But it's
theory,
literally
look
that
under
percentage.
the
It's
hood,
like literally like that.
and
It's
your car
based on the
is,
percent,
in
like how
theory,
much
still
brake tread is remaining.
okay.
Or
So
tire
you
tread,
would
same
not
thing.
get
They're both
charged for that.
60%. But you
Obviously,
can't like you won't sell a
your
car
car
with
shouldn't be
less.
smoking.
Yeah, it's part of the
You
safety
should
point
go to most
inspection.
have that
Uh-huh.
fixed or have somebody look at it. But it's a more fair way to charge people for not taking care. In this case, it's only work vehicles.
No, and she's sitting
as
really
a
far
start,
away too.
But it's to make sure that people take care of it. Like if you drive around with shut out brakes, at some point you won't be able to brake, and you're going to hit somebody, or you're going to send it over. Somebody jaywalking, even though it might be legal now. It's stuff like that. If your frame is bent, that is dangerous. Like, it's all the small things. Engine is about to fucking blow up, catching on fire. You might take out the mayor. You know, he might just randomly be there as your car catches on fire and explodes.
Are they towing it if
Last
it's a
laugh failure,
bad
it's not important. I don't wanna
condition? 'Cause
distract.
I see here it's just like warnings being issued.
He
at
seems
the
distracted
bottom.
enough on his
No,
own.
it's not being towed. So I made it into a 3 warning system. The first time they get a warning, they have to get it sorted in a week, basically. Because again, it's bad condition, but it's not terrible or extreme bad condition. So it's to the point where you need to get it fixed because it could get worse. And then if you get caught a second time without having it fixed, that's when we, at $1,500 fine and 2 points. Again, these are just kind of placeholder numbers. So
now
Yeah.
cops are mechanics and fashion.
no. Because if you keep reading, it says that they have to call a mechanic to check it. If there's no mechanic available, they can use a tool to check current status, have to make sure they document it, then go from there. That is the biggest issue with that mandate right now. Do PD pay the mechanics, or is PD able to use? Because all they do is just plug a tool in that reads the error codes. Like even PD could do that, but at the same time, you would make sure you have a professional to do it first, right? Who's paying for that? Is it PD that pays the mechanic for the reading, or?
It's a good thing I can't speak, or I would be
I guess
fucking.
my
I would be
question-
arguing so much.
This is like specifically towards Dakota. Like, don't you want to try to keep people off scenes? Like, are you guys really going to be wanting to call and wait for basically a third party mechanic to get there to make things more complicated and trust their readout?
Yeah, well, that's another thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the idea of this.
I've been like, wow,
but I
Lance, way to
think
be a
given-
libertarian about all of
especially right
this.
now, the
So
current
are you saying
state
we can't have
of
regulation ever? And do
car
we only want to
repair
have regulation by
prices
enforcement? And then I'll have to
and
define what regulation by
I-
enforcement
I
means.
think it's a little. We need to do something about that before
I've-
we can
I
put more
get that.
pressure on mechanics.
Yes, I get that. But while I was writing this, I was writing it in the mindset that this is
Compliance
a thing
standards
that
are
we
only
can
articulated
make
after the
sure,
fact
you
of
know,
the conclusion
people
of an
that they keep-
examination or an
I get
enforcement
that the prices
action.
are going up and they keep going up, but while writing this, that is not my
That's
problem.
what we're doing right now. We're doing regulation
because-
by enforcement.
And
Do we
don't get me
actually
wrong,
want to do something
I get
better?
your point. But the prices of parts go up and down. If I wrote this 2 weeks ago, the prices probably wouldn't have been a problem. And maybe the price is going to go back down in 2 weeks. We don't know.
Yeah, I think if people can't afford car ownership, I think that's very unfortunate for them. But Maximilian Angel runs a taxi service, right?
Right.
Like,
But then, so okay. What about the emergency services vehicles?
Mhm.
So if I work a couple of hours and get my ambo repaired at the end of my shift,
Mhm.
sometimes a one across is going to cost me $1,500, and I've just literally worked to fix my ambo.
I get your concern. I get that it's a problem at this current time. If I use that as a thing when I'm writing something, then I might as well just not write it.
I'm just saying, like, this is what we're going to hear if
Yes.
we push this. So
I know. And we can always wait till we think the prices are better, if that's the way to go about it. But if we are using the prices that are fluctuating, going up and down, it will now be a problem. Down the line, maybe not, and then maybe it'll be a problem again. Because we are not in control of the prices they are.
Yeah,
I
I
like
hear what you're saying.
I like the legislation. The one thing I would change in order to get me personally on board with this is instead of making it like a third party mechanic, leave it completely up to the LEOs, shall we say, and if internally they want to have like mechanic deals or have like a specific like police designating mechanic, like I think that's all on them to implement. I just think the logistics of calling people up, detaining someone for 5 to 10 minutes just to get their car checked, I think that's a little unreasonable. But I think if PD have a tool, or if they have someone on their force who is trained on speed dial to come by, I think that's all perfectly fine.
Counterpoint, we already enacted legislation that detains like truck drivers and stuff for 10 to 15 minutes while their cargo manifest gets checked.
I think though I think checking a cargo manifest, that's all something that the PD does, and that's why I'm okay with this is all being a PD procedure. I just think the times might get a little too much for a standard stop when you're looping in third-party mechanics and just scrolling through the yellow pages. If it's all an internal PD thing and it's just on the radio, hey, any certified mechanics, or however the PD want to implement it, right? I think that's fine. I just don't like bringing third parties onto scenes.
That is a fine, and that is a valid concern. And I basically just wrote it the way I did to cover everything, because I felt like having PD do it themselves, somebody's going to complain, and that's why I just wrote it in there. So
can we make it like a little simpler, like just like a fix it thing? Like PD has the authority to basically, under the act, fine people for not having a roadworthy vehicle, but they also are instructed they have the discretion to give them a warning to go fix it, and if they see them again with it, they'll charge them. I mean,
yeah, that's fine too. That's how it was. I think I wrote it the first time around, and then I made it into a 3-strike system, and I forgot who I talked to about.
I think we keep shit simple, personally.
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine with that. The entire point is just that they should fix their vehicle. If it's a shit bucket and looks like a shit bucket, they're probably not fixing their shit, and they should. That was kind of the end of it. Again,
no, I get it for that reason. Yeah.
It's limited to work vehicles right now, but in theory, it could be rolled out to be all vehicles.
All right, so is the I'm fine with that too. Is the consensus then to try and pull this all down to like a 1-paragraph unroadworthy vehicle charge like back in the day? Then is that?
I think it works because unroadworthy vehicle didn't work back in the day because you could see one thing on the exterior and somebody could see something else.
Right,
this is internally, and then that's the same for everybody, meaning that now we can actually crack down on it. Yes,
Yeah,
so
like
I would
bring
agree.
back the charge, but make it about the internal components, not the external ones.
Correct.
Okay.
Wait, what? Sorry, I missed something. What internal components?
Like the actual engine parts, the brakes, the transmission, things like that, instead
they're
of
not
like
changing,
focusing
like,
more on like the
physical
doors
damages.
and hood and stuff like that.
The reason we're using that crane as the baseline is because, like, you can walk up to a car, you can see that something is wrong, and I might not see that, but the internals will be the same for you and for me.
The exterior condition is the RS for the stop, and then the charge is, I guess, like, that gives you the PC to check the internals and whatnot.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd also like to say, in order for a vehicle to get down to the levels that this is talking about, you really have to be negligent with.
You say that. As I was writing this, I was out checking a garbage truck that was sitting around 50.
And I bet
across the board.
I bet that garbage truck has never seen a repair shop.
No, and that's why, like, this is extreme. And again, it can be tweaked. I just threw some numbers in there that I think was all right. If we go by the standard that a part is a bad condition, that would mean 50 to 75%. Anything like in between that range, which is quite a big.
I agree. Yeah, I was just saying it to like reassure people if they were having it, because it's not like a it's not like if I went out for an 8-hour shift and then I went back to PD and I checked how my engine was looking, it wouldn't be remotely close to anything that this would suggest. So it's not it wouldn't be like a finicky thing, if that makes sense, Etta.
Yeah, no, I get that. Having it explained that way, I'm for it. If we like narrow it down.
Yep. So if we simplify it, we use the old charge of unroadworthy vehicle, and then obviously make some changes, I guess. And yeah.
Would this be the equivalent of like a traffic citation then? And they, if you just keep getting caught with it, they just keep stacking it. Is it?
Yeah, honestly, I mean that makes
I would
sense.
say yes.
Yeah, just keep charging them until they get it fixed.
That's fair.
So would we do one warning and then second offense still would be a fine and a?
I mean,
I
that's
think
where,
it's on discretion, right?
that's where PD discretion is. Yeah, like you give traffic warnings all the time,
Well, no, I'm just saying it because it is literally spelled out in here. I'm trying to figure out if we're going to break from this or if we're going to keep it similar. That's what my question was.
Sounds like we're adjusting it based on the
For
situation,
section 3, that was my only thing. Yeah,
no, we're changing that.
Okay,
That
and
changes.
I'm fine with it being discretion, so I have no issue with that. I just wanted to make sure I was following correctly.
Yep. So I think TLDR is that we are changing it, so it's not a 3-strike. It is at the PD's discretion, whoever pulled them over. And it's, are we keeping the percentage?
I know nothing about
yeah, I
mechanics,
know
Yeah,
I'll
to
be
that
honest,
I have to
that's,
throw my hands
that's
up.
on you.
60 seems ridiculously low, so I feel like that
It
is
is.
fair.
In all my time as a mechanic previously, I very rarely ever saw vehicles that low. So if
65?
people are holding a relatively, regular schedule for their maintenance, then they'll never get that low.
All right. Well, in that case, I'd say we up it to 65 and I feel like it might be a sweet spot. And then that's about it.
Play around with it, and I guess Nakota can come back with feedback in a couple
Yep.
sessions with how it's going.
Absolutely.
Alright.
Really quick, since we wrapped the. Oh, let's do the vote first. Sorry.
Max,
All
it's
in
on you.
favor.
Yay.
Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry. Let's do it this way. All not in favor. The motion passes. Unanimous.
Real quick. Okay. So on the updated charge proposal document, I've enacted the manufacturer moonshine, the robbery security firm, and the possession security firm cash. Those are. I've normalized the fines. So what I've done is robbery security firm is $60,000 and $6,000 is the all-in. But then what I've done is I've escalated the financial institution to 100 months, $10,000 to scale, comparing to security firm versus the bank itself. And then I've written the umbrella. If anyone can logic check what I've done for the umbrella charges, I think it makes sense, but I may have missed something. So please help me if you see anything. And then possession security firm cash. I don't know anything about what forms they take. What is Group 6 rolled cash? Is that a thing?
Yeah, we found that on people.
So it has a tag for Group 6 on it?
Correct.
Okay, cool.
Alright.
So those three, tampering of an HVAC/turbine unit, I'm not sure about that one. What is that crime, Nakota? Can you?
These are crimes where we're getting suspicious. Grandma calls us and says that she's seeing some suspicious activity. We respond. Typically, when we show up on scene, there will be a very loud alarm going off. If we're there sometimes too late. If we get there early, typically we'll see someone on a rooftop or multiple people on a rooftop. They are visibly tampering with something. Sometimes it's an HVAC unit, sometimes it's a turbine unit. They then remove forcefully parts from inside said unit and attempt to flee.
Can't just to get to the butt of this, isn't this what we kind of discussed after that trial the other day?
I would love to hear your thought on it, to be honest.
I don't know if it made its way up to Ukraine, but Hallow had a bench trial around all this, and the general consensus was, we could just retool the stolen goods charge to kind of include this kind of stuff as an option instead of an entirely new charge.
Instead of valuable goods.
Yes, just make a possession of stolen goods.
Yeah, I will say my goal with that charge again was a more umbrella-esque charge instead of charging someone with 5 different crimes. If they're found to be engaging in this activity, they just get 1 charge.
Well, in this case, stolen goods is plural, so you could only charge it once.
The Group 6 one, I think I get because I've seen all the reports and I've had people come to me about the epidemic of that. But is this really a big enough deal that we need an umbrella charge for
Yes,
HVAC
this is
tampering?
this is the most common crime that is occurring in the city at the moment.
Really? Wow.
I will agree with Nakota, but disagree about the implementation. I think that instead of a whole new charge of that, you just retool the existing charge of possession of stolen goods to cover the HVAC systems.
So the acts, you charge them for the trespassing, vandalism, theft,
correct,
reckless evading, resisting, and then if they're found with these outside of the act, we implement the possession of stolen parts.
Correct, because whenever you find these parts, we have not found one instance where there weren't signs that they were forcefully removed from the unit.
Anybody against me changing possession of stolen goods to be more generic to encompass things like HVAC units?
I'm for that.
Yeah, that I'm
Yeah, I think
for.
Okay, I will do that now.
Yeah.
Sick.
To make things easier, Crane, if you literally just change it to stolen goods, that'll encompass it. You don't really need to specify like HVAC systems or anything like that unless you want to.
Okay. So what about the vehicle distinguishability and maintenance mandate?
We already voted that in.
And then we
Yeah.
implement that just into
Did
a
we-
traffic charge.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was unanimous.
Yep.
Sick. Okay.
We kind of lessened it slightly, so now it's up to cop discretion and all that. But it did pass in its current form.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Simplified it. Yeah.
Next is Malton's lawyer employee reclassification. Malton.
One sec, let me just read the language real quick. Possession of stolen goods for the purpose of this
Poggers!
charge,
Put
items will
lawyers back
qualify as
in
stolen if they
government
are known by police
employees.
to be targeted for theft, and the possessor does not have proof of ownership.
Poggers, Lance. Poggers.
Because I don't want,
That's my
PD
president of
being
the bar.
you don't
He's
have
fighting
proof that you
hard for
brought
us.
this
I'm so proud of
bandage.
Lance right now. I could
So that should cover.
I could kiss him.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, just moving on to my proposal. I think it's pretty straightforward. Essentially, lawyers are not government employees currently for a variety of reasons that we discussed in the past that I mostly agree with. However, I do think they should be considered government employees, specifically when they are at City Hall or a police station. The reason being that when lawyers are there, they're usually there on government business. I think that if someone is targeting a police station or City Hall, I think the expectation is people in there usually are government employees. I think the
Thank
script is
you,
flipped
Lance.
a little bit. Just as we feel that it's not obvious that someone is a lawyer if they're just out and about or at senior buns. I think it's more likely than not that someone is a lawyer if they're doing legal stuff at City Hall or at the police station or something like that. And that's why I'm seeking the classification in these 2 specific locations only.
I don't know enough about lawyers to have a vested opinion on if it's necessary.
I-
For real. So if anyone's got anything.
I think I think it's just for me. I'm not pushing this because it's like an epidemic or anything like that. This is more for standardization with other government employees. The only reason they're not right now is except the niche situations that we talked about in the past where they could be out and about in town but still technically a lawyer. But I think that if they're at City Hall, if they're at the police station, then I think it's much more obvious that they're government workers at that point. And so
essentially, whether or not they'd get like attempted murder of a government employee versus
correct.
just attempted murder or
Basically, this would
something?
mean if you target City Hall or a police station, this kind of kicks in, I guess, with what you were saying, Max, with maybe getting things more strict at City Hall.
It's terrible.
Yeah, and you rob a person in the suit. I think it's pretty reasonable to assume that person is a government employee of some sorts, and we already do it for the county clerks. I believe Alex told me the other day that county clerks are technically classified as government employees when they're behind that desk. I think that courtesy should be extended to lawyers, once again within city hall or police station, and you can play around with the wording a little bit, but I think it's even fine to say when they're within the building of city hall or the building of a police station. If they're like out front by the fountain, maybe that's still the old definition. But I think as a way to help with the standardization, we could start drawing the line once you're indoors of city hall and PD.
Agree. Let's vote on it. This is pretty clear cut. All in favor of classifying lawyers as government employees for the purpose of penal reasons, should they be accosted in City Hall and in a police station. Any disagreeers?
I don't think I know enough to really disagree. So if you guys like it,
You could always abstain if you'd like, but yeah, I hear you.
I'll vote with y'all. I just I'm not against it.
Sounds like no nays. Unanimously passed.
Fuck yeah, sure.
My wife thanks you.
Oh yeah, there you go. Oh yeah, I guess that was yeah, that makes sense.
I just want to make sure the lawyer classification thing was passed.
Indeed.
Yes, it is, and just specifically, I don't know what I said in the wording here, but it's only when you're in the interior of City Hall or police station. Like, it's not just the grounds of it. You have to specifically be in an interior.
Honestly,
yeah.
No, yeah. Y'all can wander around. It's not like any lawyer's immune to being targeted just because they're signed on duty or something. Yeah.
All good. I just want to make sure the note said it.
So I have enacted everything that we've discussed in terms of the new charges under Nakota's list. I have implemented everything. I've adjusted times and fines accordingly.
Not about it's not about
the only
immunity.
one that
What?
was suggested as a new
I
charge
understand some of the
that we
things
did
that are
not
said.
discuss that I want to resolve real quick is criminal possession of firearm components. Is anyone against me enacting that charge?
I'm
No.
against it as a new charge. I think it should just be wrapped in with weapon attachments at the current time and fine.
I actually agree with Lance.
Especially if you're charging them on like a per component or per attachment level. That
So
could
I
stack up pretty quick.
so your suggestion is I change the name from weapon attachments to firearm components, and then make the language generic to include scopes, extended
Components
magazines,
and
as well
attachment.
as
Yeah,
slides,
everything is in
receivers,
there
etc.
currently, plus weapons components.
Anybody against that idea?
I'm for it.
I'm okay with that.
Okay, I will do that. And then just to disclose to the council, the other items that Nakota has suggested that are more reclassification.
Lance is going to
or,
bat for lawyers right now. I'm fucking happy
whatever we want
with
to call
him.
it, penal code balancing.
He's doing
I'll
the
work
work.
with the DOJ
Yeah, and he's going to
examine
bat
and take
for
them on in good faith.
Lance Flip Crane.
Okay. Could I just beg that
Fucking
we
Lance Martin, everybody.
vote on making
Round of a
criminal possession of a
Proud of
class 1
him.
felony, please, in the current moment?
doing his job.
So right now it's a misdemeanor.
I was very surprised by that. But I'm
Yeah,
also
that's-
not
that's a
the
holdover
law
from-
professional here.
That's a holdover.
Yeah, I'm
from
fine with it,
before.
especially if
Thanks,
we're wanting to go strict
Kenny.
on gun charges in the beginning. Yeah,
I'm
Okay.
fine with implementing
felonies have
as
a
you've
lot of
written
weight.
it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll mark which things are implemented, which things are under review for DOJ. Do we want to get through the unresolved from the last meeting, or do we want to get through the new items?
Look, I'm going through the reports right now. Once we get through here, we can go through stuff that was kind of skipped over in the last meeting.
All right, sounds good.
We got the proposal for City Hall Running Pass program.
Oh.
Michael.
It's I don't know if it's a final or is it still work in progress. It's basically just we make money off the fucking people that keep running through fucking City Hall.
Yeah.
Do like money.
Does the money go to the state?
Either that or the person that whichever we're fine with.
I'm fine with it if it goes to the state.
All right,
like
goes
make
to
it
the
a
state.
citation.
It could be one of those things where the majority goes to the state and only a small portion goes to the person issuing the fee.
That
Yeah,
already exists.
Yeah,
Oh,
cops will
okay.
still get the
Yeah.
15%, Juno.
I
So
see.
if a clerk issues that license, then they'll get 15%.
Okay.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah, that's
My
good.
running licenses. I can't
Crane, if
issue
you
them
issue a
anymore.
license, is it permanent? or
No,
is it
they're
for X
making
amount
it
of
so I
time?
can't issue them.
It depends on the license.
Okay, so we could set a all right. So we could basically set it to a week, and they would have to buy a new one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we're talking about having actual back end support on the MDT for these.
I don't know. What is the easiest
That's
way to
not
go about it?
that's not very difficult.
Okay.
Okay.
Is there a way to have them automatically expire?
Correct. That is how some things work already.
Cool. Okay. That's
Thanks for the
sick.
400 bits, but what the
That is
fuck?
Actually,
pretty
you know
cool.
what? It's kind of a small amount of money.
I was about to say we could actually up that.
Well, hold on, no. What I mean is instead of the money going to the state, why not just give it to the person issuing the thing?
Because
The state would
I
have
would
to pay
I would
him on the
prefer
back
I would
end.
prefer they use the
systems.
the
to build
My
it.
billings of the
monies!
bank account.
My
Yeah,
running
yeah.
passes.
Okay.
I don't want to have to oversee my clerks taking cash from people.
Yeah,
Okay.
or if you don't do that, the judges
I
have
trust
to like
the
pay 'em
clerks, but
weekly, like, ugh.
Alex, your thoughts, given that you are the chief clerk?
I think it's honestly easier to just bill.
No, I'm okay with billing,
I
but
think we stick
lawyers
with the
can't
billing
bill, so just give us the
I'll trust
ability.
them.
I
Just
mean,
let
look, there's
lawyers
a lot of Group
bill.
6 people running in there. That 15% can
Ooh.
stack up real quick.
That could be good.
I
Every
made like
week.
$5,000 from issuing running passes. Are you kidding
I'm
me?
good with the
One
the whole
person
idea.
gave
I
me
just- I would
like
rather
one
keep it
person
normal.
gave me way too
Yeah,
much
it
money,
also
and I was
allows
like,
us to
okay,
track the
I'll just take
actions.
this.
Is
They gave me like
with
$1,300
this,
for a running
yeah,
pass.
I didn't read through the whole thing, but if someone is running without a pass, is that just like a citation? Like what?
Yeah,
what's-
that's the only thing
that's
is
the only
we're
thing,
just gonna
yeah.
have to be aware that enforcement is gonna be null and void. Basically, I'm not gonna empower clerks to physically fucking restrain people to get their pound of flesh.
No.
So and we'll have to train them on this, and that'll be Alex's responsibility. But it's gonna be the kind of thing where we're gonna heavily discourage people from running by still yelling at them and threatening to call the cops, etc. But I doubt it'll result in much actual enforcement.
No, I don't think.
I've been
cops can hang out
usurped.
here if they
My
really
running
care, I
passes
guess,
have been usurped.
It's an easy way to make some money. It's an easy way to we have
Some
a reason
people
to yell
would
at
just
people.
like to have it, so,
Yeah, that
fuck
too.
it.
A lot of people keep saying, "Oh, I got the running
No.
pass." Well, now you don't, motherfucker.
Well,
now you have
yeah,
to actually
now
buy
you
it.
can actually get it if you want it. Yeah.
While we're on the topic of like courthouses and fines associated with it, Nakota, are people like are cops doing that commercial charging pad? Like it's been a few weeks kind of since we implemented that. Is that charge being used? Are you guys swamped, or are people still just parking and not giving a fuck?
People are issuing them. I did. One thing I did want to bring up is like the tier 3 group 6 trucks and the grime, like whatever the largest 16-wheeler or 18-wheeler that they drive. Anywhere where they pick up deliveries, it is quite literally impossible for them to park legally. They're either blocking traffic in some capacity, or they basically have to park on the
right? Like yeah.
Which I've been communicating to people, but we have been giving out egregious parking infractions
I guess that's
for
what I'm saying.
commercial
Is, like,
vehicles.
do you think the charge is like working its current form, or are people
Yeah,
still not giving a fuck about it?
No, I think people are holding people accountable. Obviously, not for the larger ones where it's like someone was making a pickup for their 18-wheeler for grime, and shockingly, they parked horizontally across all the spots across the street from the bank on Legion Square, but they also paid every single meter and then went inside.
Oh, well, there you go.
So it is working.
Okay.
Strange question. Does anyone know a list of? You know what? Never mind. I'll ask that elsewhere. Go ahead.
Okay.
I think just do whatever the biggest truck is for grime. I think they had 2 stops somewhere in the city. I think they got rid of those because of these reasons, and because big trucks like that shouldn't be driving in the city in the first place.
Yeah. Okay.
So just keep that in mind.
Good
For
to know.
as for the other one, that's still going to be an issue, and
yeah.
If I might add to the group 6 thing, I've seen them drive into the garage a lot more. which is good. But some of
Yeah,
them still
me
don't
too.
care, and they've literally said, "Well, how are they gonna catch me?" So
Yeah.
Well, I guess then the
Kinda
fine
hit
would be
and miss.
irrelevant for
that's up to
those
them,
types
yeah.
of people. But
Yeah.
if
My running
if it's like an impact, that's
passes
just what I'll follow up on.
Hell,
co-opted,
if they say
usurped,
that,
and
then
taken
take
away.
a picture of their fucking plate parked illegally and text it to a cop,
That's hilarious.
Yeah, we'll flag it up.
Hell
because
yeah.
that's proof for a charge.
My
so
running
fuck it.
passes.
The snitch war's begun. They
Yeah,
have.
I don't care. If people are
Fuck
gonna park
yeah.
on our front lawn, then they can get what's coming to them.
The first person who gets the snitch award for the adoption policy should get a medal. That's all I'm saying.
So it seems like we're all in favor of the running pass being implemented.
Yep.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I like that.
Yes. Yep.
Okay, so I tossed in a little thing in here that said a report will be drafted upon the first individual purchasing this pass where the dates and issuance of all running passes will be tracked as well as their expiration date. Didn't realize that it could be automatically removed after a certain amount of time, so I'm going to delete this real quick. I don't think there's a report necessary at that point because everything's going to be tracked on the back end.
Yep.
Nice.
Perfect.
Hunting licenses and fishing licenses
who
used to
specifically
expire
do we
after
want
60
to be able
days,
to
so
issue
I would-
these? Just judges and clerks?
County clerks.
Yeah, county clerks. That should be their job.
Yeah. Clerks.
QQ.
Okay. I'm gonna I don't think it's actually written in there. I'm just gonna add this in real quick. Or where would be the best place to add this in?
All licenses by default are the purview of DOJ and the clerks.
So my only concern about the back end thing would be, so there is a logging system of licenses given and revoking. Would that not just like kind of clog that thing?
How frequently are we setting them to expire?
1 week is
They
the
were saying a
current
week.
legislation.
It probably should be longer than that.
So I mean,
Up the price and make it longer.
I mean, I don't know.
For example,
about...
hunting when we had hunting as an expiring license,
Yep.
it was I think a monthly basis.
It was 60 days, Crane. Sorry for speaking.
Oh, 60. I mean, statute of limitations is 30. We just match that. Is that fair?
I mean, do we just want to do a straight
that
increase,
seems
$2,000, 30
fair.
days? Like,
Sure.
What do you think, Mike? This is your baby.
I'm fine with upping it. We
You
just
thought
up
it
the
was
price.
30?
that's what I'm saying. Just
To
a
match.
lateral
Yeah.
increase. Yeah.
Yeah.
2004.
Did he not
a
issue
month,
them that
correct?
often?
Yep.
You're
I think it's a hard to sell, but it's probably
You probably
still
just
doable.
forgot.
I mean, that also may provide incentive for the police if they are just hanging out here. Like if someone's running, like maybe they'll actually stop them because you could
Or they'll actually stop.
ding them
running.
for more. Yeah. Or they'll actually stop running. True.
Okay. Any nayers on the running pass? It passes. Unanimous. Very good.
You report
next
them.
one, the business licenses. I'm gonna go ahead and say this is for the mayor's office to review and implement on our own time. I will say that Michael did a fantastic fucking job on this. I believe Judo consulted with him as well. I haven't been able to catch Juno and Mike and me in the same room in a while, obviously. So I don't think this needs to be presented at the meeting, but it is here for you guys to review. If you have any questions or concerns about it, you can direct them to Michael or I. We're both, or Juno, even if she's read it. We're all versed on it. I think it's fair. I think it is. It covers the state's ass in regards to there not being certain expectations of the state.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very, what's the word? Austere.
I
I
guess
like
my
it. I think the price is good.
I like it. I do completely agree that it should be within the purview of the mayor's office. My only like general question for our predecessors, shall we say, or our successors rather, is currently we're all kind of on the same page about like felonies and no business licenses, but in theory, could like a future mayor's office change it? Like that'd be the only thing I'd like to hard.
I'll provide guidance on that because I know exactly how this works. I will reiterate to Max's credit. it is entirely his purview. I want to be unequivocal about that.
Mhm,
There is no
mhm.
should. There is no, you know.
Yeah, you guys don't get any
hedging
say about
here.
this. You guys get
It
no
is
say.
entirely the mayor's
Business is
purview to deal with
entirely mayor's
businesses.
purview.
The
That's
only
right. You
check
guys
and
don't
balance on
actually get any
businesses I've
fucking
already
say.
discussed with Max, and he understands, which is there is a feasibility and legality check that occurs
Uh-huh.
at a higher government level. And all that is when he decides, after he's done his entire process of approval and review, he sends them to me and I run them by the government. That's it.
And that legality check includes the felony check, right?
That is, well, no, that the felony check is me at the DOJ being told by Max, please issue a license to this person, charge them for a business license as they have been approved by the mayor. And at that point, as I do when I issue any license, I open up the MDT and I check the record to see if they qualify. But those are the only two checks that exist. And again, I'll be unequivocal, it is entirely his domain. So he may choose to allow us to give input, but it is his choice.
The thing that the thing that Malton's worried about is the process being edited by future mayors, right?
Opening it up.
That process is not open for edit.
So
Okay.
can we decide now that? So this is a slippery slope that we need to be careful about.
Sorry, let me clarify. Which process? The felony part?
No. Just the process of how the mayor oversees businesses.
The council
and stuff.
does not determine the length or breadth of that power. That power is given straight from the federal government. The role as defined in the enacted Constitution.
No. Hold on, you're not understanding me. What I mean is the process that the mayor employs is what was outlined by Simone. Malton is concerned that a mayor may come in and see this document and be like, actually, I want to change this and that and that and that, blah blah blah.
So they could suddenly say it's like 2K for a business license instead of 50K.
Right.
Or something.
Well, I'm fine with that. My only one hang up was the felony portion, but that makes
Yeah. I just
No.
example, but yeah.
So we can throw in a little line here that
I don't watch my own city hall.
no matter what, like future mayor can change this process if they want to. The one thing that has to remain is the no felony shit.
I don't foresee that being an issue.
Okay. All right. Well, then, as is, it is fine.
That's fine.
Yeah, I think most of it.
Did you? Sorry. Continue. Go.
No, I was just gonna say most of what I wrote down is basically just so we have it in writing. Again, specifically because some people don't seem to get that the government will not support them. They will have to make do with the tools that are available.
Yeah,
at the
a lot
moment.
of people seem to
I
think
have
it's
two
going to be just like it
questions.
was before.
I have two questions with that. Did you update the report? You know how you said there were a couple things that you were going to change. Have you updated it?
Not yet.
Then my second question is
What I missed? I just AFK'd to get a croissant.
I don't know if it's fine just to talk
A
about
chocolate
it separately
croissant.
after the fact.
Did I
but
miss anything
with
important?
Individuals that are
I was gone for all of like 10
requested that,
seconds.
have ambitious goals for a business per se. Would we want to put that on hold or deny altogether, or just give the business license anyway?
That's on Max, right? And if Max thinks that the business is good, then it's pushed through. And then if they say it's not good, then that's the end of it. So if you think that, let's say, like,
I guess I'd like to.
if they're hoping that there is a window of opportunity that they can do something that is currently unavailable, then tell them that yes, wait, it might be possible, but at the
I
moment,
never used to
it's
eat
not.
on stream. Somebody has
If you're
influenced
expecting
me.
that we are
What's an
going
example of what
shall
we're
not be
talking about?
named.
Sorry, I just wanted to
erecting a building for somebody,
more.
or say somebody wants to open a coffee shop. Currently, there's no way to get coffee. Is there a place to get coffee in the city?
There's no coffee
No.
beans.
Yes.
There's nothing
It
like
is
that.
it is the duty of the mayor's office at this time and until any foreseeable future to inform residents seeking construction or altering of any existing building or infrastructure that is not possible, period.
Yep. There we go. Easy.
Okay.
And when that changes, the mayor's office will be the first to know.
Yes. So what you're asking, Juno, is tell them to wait. And if they're
Yeah.
hoping that there's an opening for that, then you have to wait and see.
Yeah.
Right now, it's a no, and that's.
You
Yeah,
can literally
I
just
don't
blame
see
the
the-
federal government, blame Crane, blame whoever you
Yeah,
want.
I just don't
It's
see
just
the
how it
point
is.
in
Crane.
handing out licenses for whether they meet criteria or not, for something that isn't going to be beneficial at all for the city.
That name.
At least not until the foreseeable future.
You can still make a company.
Yeah, for sure.
So, but it's just, yeah. I don't think we can do much about it, so we just have to leave it at that.
Okay, let's keep going. We have the vehicle asset forfeiture policy, also drafted by Mr. Simone.
I think we need to come back to that one because I think
Yeah.
we have not established a strike system and anything.
It already is in
regards to
place.
Yeah,
You,
but
yes.
we talked
It
about
is
this in
working in the
another
back end.
meeting. Mhm.
We can modify it potentially.
Okay.
But I will caution that, as with the previous discussion about infrastructure, the towing and impound systems may take a good while to implement changes to. So anything we come up with, we just need to be aware is not going to be an overnight thing. It may be months. I don't know.
Yeah.
Currently, the way that it works, just so everyone's educated, is that currently vehicle strikes are applied to the vehicle based on the impound reason. There are various severities, obviously, like robbery or violent crimes are the highest. Things like parking are the lowest. The strikes currently scale with the original MSRP of the vehicle. So if you own a $200,000 car and you reckless evade in it, it may be $20,000. If you own a $20,000 car and you reckless evade in it, it may be $5,000. That's about how it works.
Yeah.
Okay. So what we good on this one?
If there's an actual system in place and that system is cut and dry basically in the way it works, then in theory, yes. Then all we need to do is establish basically how many points or how many strikes they would need, and if we're actually okay with
about that, yeah.
Okay, and then if we're okay with actually seizing people's property, and if we actually want to put it up for auction, or if we just want to keep it.
In the past, what we did was when it reached 30 strikes, it would be seized for 30 days automatically. You couldn't pull it out of impound no matter how much money you paid. To my knowledge, that never occurred. The workaround people used was as soon as they got to like 28 strikes, they would sell the vehicle to a civilian who didn't care about the strikes because they weren't going to commit crime in it at a discounted rate, and then they would buy a copy of the same vehicle with no strikes on it. So if we are going to implement something that results in seizure, we would need to conceive of something that
When
people
I'm
would
in
actually
meetings
achieve.
when I've been in meetings for work,
So,
right?
yes,
And like I've done like
those are the
4-hour
parameters.
meetings,
I-
like
I-
around
I
the
don't
like
have- I'm not
2-hour
saying I
mark,
have a
we like
solution, I
definitely
apologize
like
for
a little bio break for
No,
like
no, no,
5-10
it's-
minutes and then like come
I'm
back.
just spitballing
Because
here, I
when
guess,
you're
since
in
it's
like
a
a
work in
4-hour
progress, but
meeting, dude, it's
the
fucking
current strike system in
draining.
place, I
And
think
like
that
you need
works
to
for
like
like
give
the
your body
fines and
time
such
to
because
like
that's
chill.
all automated basically. But for the
And your
forfeiture,
brain.
could you maybe say like the strikes are relevant? It's when it's used in 3 felonies or 3 violent, something like that. Like make it not tied to strikes, but just the number of incidents that the car is involved in for the government to seize it. Like strikes.
I
don't
feel
matter.
like it's a bigger slippery slope.
It's a question of proof, right? Because, for example, my head immediately jumps to, okay, the cops go to a bank robbery, Malton's Toyota Supra is parked out front. Robbers get in the car and they get away. There's no way the cops can prove whether it was tampered with, whatever, right? So how do we apply an incident to that vehicle?
Well, that's a gimme then. Hey, they got away in the vehicle where it was actually stolen. One of the two. I mean, that's
So
what
it has to be
an
caught.
Yeah, we have
with
to catch it.
Caught with no signs of tampering, is what you're saying.
I'm saying that the police have to be able to articulate that the owner knew it was being used for, and that could be many pieces of the puzzle. It could be the vehicle tampering.
That's what I'm
is the
saying,
person who was
Loggerhead, because you
caught
need to
with
take
it,
breaks so your
an
brain's not going to
associate
absorb
of
it.
the original owner. Is there any
Vehicle not
cause to
reported stolen.
substantiate, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, like I think if you could articulate that the owner knew, then it should count against it in like a 3 incident policy or a 3 strike policy. And once again, if people want to contest that or if people don't agree with it, that's kind of what the courts are for.
I am all for proper
That's good.
documentation of vehicles
Good
being
for
used as
everyone.
evidence, but I don't know how everyone else feels about it. I'm in line with what you're saying, Malton, because we've already had instances where I can tell you personally, we're already seeing personal vehicles that I can think of off the top of my head, 2 in particular, that I've seen at 5 separate instances being used in the commission of some form of a crime. One of the owners was called and asked about their vehicle, and they said, "Oh, I give my keys out to a lot of people." I don't remember who, though.
Doesn't that again, like I talked to you about, that is really not your problem. If they hand their fucking car out to somebody that's going to commit crime, that's really on them.
Oh no, I agree with you wholeheartedly. I'm just saying, like, if the standard is going to be it's documented as being used and it's not reported stolen, and that's the bear or the what we want to use, that's great. I'm saying that people will.
So 3 instances of the vehicle being caught, used in a violent felony, no signs of tampering, equals seizure. Is that what we're arguing?
Caps lock
Are
is
we
a cruise
making a
control for
violent felony?
cool.
I would say violent felony. Yeah.
Agreed.
Okay.
Yeah, agreed.
Strikes handle everything else like speeding and reckless evading and all that bullshit.
I'm fine with that.
So okay, so basically we're having two sorts of strikes. We're having non-violent felonies, which can build up, and then we take it away, or we have 3 strikes.
Well, the other one includes violent felonies, but it would just be automatic in terms of if they reach 30.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Instead of linking this vehicle asset forfeiture to like
kind
the
of evil.
existing backend systems, we just kind of create our own standard with the 3 violent felony policy or whatever we end up calling it.
I want to advocate for the car being auctioned. I don't think the state should.
I agree with
love that.
Yeah,
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe that should go to maybe that should go to PD funds. You eat what you kill kind of thing.
I think I had it like that first, and I made it just to the state. But yeah, I'm fine with whichever, really.
What if the original owner is the auction winner?
Well, that in theory you shouldn't care.
No, auctions should only be the civilians, no felonies.
Oh,
Understood.
all right, there we
Even
go.
better.
Easy clap.
I'm
Easy.
very okay with that.
I don't care where the money goes, state, PD, split, whatever. But I think that if the DOJ is seizing it, then by that definition,
For the
DOJ
record,
should
this
be the
was
one auctioning it.
prior to the collapse. This was one of the things that was being worked on, which is why I have ideas about it already. We just didn't implement it because there was so much going on with Sanguine.
Yeah.
But we had a whole system already described and set up, which is what I'm kind of describing. So the idea was, whatever reason it gets seized, it then goes to a publicly announced auction. The DOJ posts about on the City Hall public government email server. Everyone is aware of it. Date and time where we'll actually hold the auction in person here in the city. That auction then will be restricted only to civilians, aka no felonies on your record. And the money would go to the PD funds that deal with whatever
I was
you wanna
talking
call
about
it,
for the
cargo
good of
fast
everybody.
cops. I don't know.
I took 10 seconds away to get more
I mean,
food.
I think where the funds go, maybe that's a discussion that the treasurer should work out with
I'm
the
playing,
PD
like
or
all my
the
lights are
DOJ
off.
or
I'm like a little
whoever it needs
goblin
to
in her
be
cave right now.
about how those funds are
I
split.
should put a light on. Goblin in her
Anybody
cave.
got any comment on that, or I don't know?
I love that.
I think it's fine. I mean, I think
Yep.
the overall idea I'm
The
fine with.
meeting.
Implementation, that's something we could play with as we go along. But I would.
I
Just
mean,
say,
look, let's be honest. It's gonna be pretty fucking hard for the PD to catch someone's personally used vehicle being used in 3 separate violent felonies with no signs of tampering, right? Like that's
Right.
people are gonna wisen up by the second time.
Yep.
You would hope.
If they don't,
If they
that's how they
don't,
lose
that's
it.
on them. Yeah.
Exactly. They can
There you
fuck around
go.
and find
They
out.
gotta learn to get
Yeah,
smarter.
play dumb
yeah.
games. Win stupid prizes.
Oh, I'm on board for all this. I agree with that.
I know our statute of limitations.
Because women should not be policed by how long my skirt is. Are you going to give me the fingertip test? Is this Catholic
Currently, the way
school
that works
again?
is
Am I
it works is
responsible for
strikes are
men's
on a
thoughts
rolling
because of
basis
how
of
I'm dressed?
30 days.
That's fucking
From
why.
the point the strikes go
No,
on, they roll
you're
after 30
responsible for
days.
your
In
own
terms of
actions,
this,
not
I would
me.
say it's the life of the car.
Oh.
The financial
Because telling women
regulation
to
strikes, I would
police
say
how
it's,
much skin they're showing
whatever,
is
but for
literally
this,
within the same
whole point is to
fucking
ensure the use,
realm
right?
of fucking
Absolutely.
what's the word I'm looking for?
I'm fine with
Victim
life of the
blaming rape
car, and,
apologists.
if it gets too
Holy
out of hand,
shit.
I mean, hey, that's next council can peel that back if they
Yeah,
wish.
People are
We
not
can
gonna like that,
revisit
but
it,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, fucking.
Anybody
Siobhan's
disagree
always
with
been
this
super
idea?
sex positive.
It's pretty radical. I mean,
It is, yeah, honestly. I think making it life of the car.
It's not a
people are
mini skirt. I'm wearing
going
booty
to like
shorts.
that, 'cause, I mean,
I
they
mean-
would use it as a getaway drive for like everything,
They'll
even
just have
things
to
they
be
don't even
smart.
think are violent. But yeah, I mean, we should put that pressure on them.
Can we run back the describing of the charges real quick so I can note that down? Because I missed that part.
which ones?
So if they're used in a non-violent or violent,
No, just a violent felony.
Okay,
Oh,
so
so-
currently the system is strikes range from parking to violent felony. The amount of strikes corresponds to the severity of the crime. It's all automated based on what the vehicle is impounded for, marked by the PD. The strikes cost a certain amount to get out of impound, scaling with the original cost of the car. What we're discussing is a separate legislative act that basically says if
There is no
your
HR.
personally owned vehicle
That's
is
and when
found
there
to be
was
used in a
essentially lawyer
violent
HR,
felony
I
and
was
there
lawyer
are no signs
HR.
of tampering on the vehicle, then that is an incident that counts as a formal strike under this piece of legislation. 3 incidents that occur would lead to the vehicle being seized, put up for auction to a civilian community, so people without felonies on their records, and then the money would be discussed through the treasurer and the PD of how to
No,
basically give back
Zeds.
to the PD
No.
for catching what they kill.
No, dude.
I would,
Nah. Counterpoint, nah.
the only
Just
thing
control
I'm against with
yourself.
that specific
Just
wording
control
is,
yourself.
obviously
Just
people are gonna
control
start locking their own
yourself.
car. I would
Just
say
control
instead of
yourself.
without
Hey, have you
proof,
figured
they're
out the
not
point?
acknowledged.
No, just
No,
control
they're
yourself.
not going to do that.
If you're an adult, it's avoided
That
by
is
controlling
not our
yourself and
Yeah.
not ogling your coworker and treating them
definitely
like
not
they're
my
an
problem, and
object.
definitely
Treat
not
them
my
like a
problem.
normal
And the
human
last part
being
you
like you
said,
would anybody
If you're
else.
strikes on a vehicle, the vehicle is seized.
Just
yeah,
because you have a feeling
there
or
are
a
3
thought,
incidents
including
of a
attraction, does
privately
not
owned
mean you
vehicle
are required to act upon it.
apprehended by the
Just be
police,
normal.
used in a violent felony with no signs of tampering, then the vehicle will be seized.
Just be normal. You wouldn't perv on a 12-year-old
anybody
wearing a mini skirt,
have any
would you?
disagreement or thoughts on that?
Then why are you
before I
acting
start
like it
writing
as
up
an adult? Okay,
good.
who's the HR in fucking NoPixel? Bruh.
Okay, I will start drafting.
I'm gonna tell you this right now. Anytime a
next is
man tries to
Philippa's,
tell me as a woman what to
thing.
wear, I will
Oh, and
fucking
by
end
God,
you.
if any of you want to read
It's
the
a
updated
video
firearm
game.
components law, be my guest. But I'm just going to warn you right now. There's like 30 different things in there, so good luck.
Fair enough.
I got 2 things. One's too short to even throw in there, so I'll just get it out the way now. This is a proposal from
What fucking HR exactly? It's a
our
video game.
board of
Holy
directors,
shit.
Charlie Janetti.
You just
who's,
talk shit on my
real
mod. You
concerned
do not
about
talk
his
shit on my
very
mod.
special son,
Ever.
Willie Glory, recently hired as a
You
judge.
never
He
tell
drives
her, my
around
mod
on
she's ruining RP.
motorcycles,
Goodbye.
without a helmet.
You never
and
talk to my
so
mod that
he
way.
wanted to pitch to us to discuss that we should make a law mandating people wear.
Go victim blame women for men's actions somewhere else, not in
Janetti
my
a
chat. Thank
communist?
you.
That I'm surprised he was trying to push for this too. He's
Never shit
usually
talk
very
my
much
mods.
for
I
free
love
rights,
them.
But I said I'd bring it
Audrey
up.
works so fucking hard. I can't wait for the
fan
DM from
but,
him
you
crying
know,
too.
his pitch was
I
to
was just
protect,
saying that women
the
need to
pig-
not wear things because men can't
that's
be
the
expected
whole-
to
that's the
control
whole
their
thing.
actions
Also
and their
health and
thoughts
safety.
and their boners.
Admittedly, it would put pressure on like motorcycle clubs and things to be identifiable and to not drive around looking like assholes all the time. So hey, there's a benefit.
Malton, don't you drive a motorcycle?
I do, and I will not be a hypocrite when it comes to helmets. And you know, I'm gonna keep the same thing that I have with moonshine.
I hope he does come back
think
on a
if we
second
can't,
account
be
so
regulating what people
that
do with their
I
bodies
can ban him
in
again.
terms of drug use, light drug use. That includes helmets.
You know, once
as well.
wasn't
I'm
enough.
against
I think a
this
second
proposal.
banning is in
I tend
order.
to agree.
Yeah, if
doesn't hurt
people
anyone
want
else.
to take the risk of cracking their heads
Never
open
come for
like a
Audrey.
watermelon on the asphalt, then I mean that is their right. So
Pretty much, yeah. You know, it could be an extra thing to get the state money, but I don't think it would really.
You're pretty sure trying to control what
I
Siobhan
will
wore
certainly
and did was
said I'd
got
bring it up
Murphy
and say
divorced.
If you're
Facts
against
and
helmets,
real.
but you're also you should also sorry if you're for helmets, you should also be against moonshine. Like
Yep, J-locked because exactly J-locked. It literally becomes like, well, you know what? Yeah, the shorts were enough. I also think she has nice legs, so I need your skirt to be knee length. And actually, I need you to wear pantyhose. And actually, I'm gonna require you to wear a 3-piece fucking suit to the office because the curve of your body is just too
Hell yeah.
distracting for me because I can't focus on my work because I'm a little horn dog. Well, that seems like a personal problem, buddy, that you should talk to your doctor or therapist about and not make it everybody else in the room's problem.
Maybe they can drink it while they're on the motorcycle without the helmet, right?
Hey, there you go. We don't have
No, because they can't possess it. That's we did not decriminalize it.
Listen, if you get an awkward boner, that's fine, but like, don't all of a sudden act like women have to change the way they do everything. Holy shit.
Effort to try to speak to a lot of
Ooh.
you. She came to me asking
I just
me
went
to
off.
pitch
Sorry,
this,
everyone. Back to the role
full
play.
disclosures. this was written by Siobhan, from my
I
understanding.
was cooking. I
did not.
If
have
you
any
start me, if you
say
get
writing any of this,
Penta, the
other
nicest
than,
thing Penta ever told me that he said I am
had
the
one suggestion
said I am
that
the
was it.
feminist icon of
Other than that,
NoPixel,
I just told her
and I've taken that very
bring it as
seriously.
is, if y'all
Yeah,
want to read
she
over
brought
that.
it to me as well.
I have read the first sentence. I'm against touching official religions with a 10-foot pole. That's
Yeah, I thought it'd be a fun discussion. Yeah, take a look at it, Crane. Take a look
just
at
off
it.
the first sentence, I am a nay on this.
See,
one
Benobi,
so
that's
far.
my point. All of a sudden becomes us wearing three-piece suits, and then that's your kink. And like, guess what? It's almost like the woman and what she wore was never the problem. It was the man's ability to control himself.
I just see
Holy
this
fuck!
opening up way too many cans of worms.
Nothing a
I
woman is
see it
wearing is
being
asking for it.
abused,
Ever. Ever.
profusely.
Ever.
And
Oh, why didn't you want to get ogled? You wore a bikini to the beach. Going off with water OST in the background, precisely.
Yeah, the
The
general
battle
vibes I
poet
got
over
of it,
fields.
discussing things with her is
She was schmoozing her boobies. Didn't she want to be ogled?
Right.
No, she wanted to be
That does
comfortable and
not
maybe get a
mean
tan at
we
the
need
beach and just enjoy a nice
any of
beach day. She didn't want you to fucking
She
stare
could
with
do
your
this
fucking little
all by
boner,
herself.
okay, from
No
15
one
feet
is
away,
stopping
awkwardly
her.
pretending like you're not playing with your pants. Holy
you know,
fuck.
I said I'd pitch it and we can all discuss it, but yeah, that's generally my thoughts. Is I don't.
Sorry, I got
understand
heated.
the
I'm gonna stop.
necessity.
Are you putting this for a vote then, Cantor?
Yes,
'Cause
Cantor.
As is.
This is religion law.
I mean, we can. It was more, you know, if anyone had thoughts that I didn't have, that maybe this was in some way a good idea that I told her I would pitch it.
Nay.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I mean, I think she just wants her church, but like, why can't she request that as a business or something? And if she's trying to get construction for a church, then you know that's another issue.
No, her the whole reason
yeah.
she brought it forward was for the protected right of confession.
See that I
which,
don't
no, it's
No, I'm
yeah. I don't really understand.
Or
God, I hear like
necessity
in my
at
brain, I can
all.
hear Siobhan screaming over there.
She. Well, you know.
Yeah, Catholic.
My priest is a therapist, so I have HIPAA. Wait, no, I don't.
No, you don't.
We don't have HIPAA.
So no, I don't.
Well,
This yeah, not
yeah.
not the
I told her
tangent.
I'd pitch it because it was nice she came to me, but
Yeah, I don't want to tangent this too much, but this
I
is
could
just
hear
for,
Siobhan
like, other
screaming in
people
my
asking
head
me,
over there.
for you know, the mayor's office here. If are you going to require non-profits, basically, whatever that may be, like charities, unions,
Thanks,
etc. Are
Els.
they going to have a
I hope you're
business
having a
license
good
to be
evening
legit,
as
or
well.
are you all only intending that for people who are like for-profit, product, service to sell type of stuff?
Might issue them a business license just for the purpose of tracking them.
Okay.
Maybe
So you could,
maybe
like,
maybe we can get
register
a
the
new
church as
license.
business type thing.
Yeah, or maybe a different kind of license could be issued for this sort of thing. I think this is a great idea. One, two. I'm curious. Let's say Jimmy Copstabber goes and tells his ordained minister, "Hey, I stabbed a cop," and then the priest is like, "Hey, you know, I'm your religious therapist, wherever the fuck they do at church. Here's what you should do." You know, maybe this person urges them to turn themselves in, or maybe they're like, "Hey, listen, like this is how you're going to make amends, blah blah blah." Where is the harm in something like this? I don't see it.
I think the harm is state recognized religions. I do agree with like the sentiment. Like if people want to confide in a religious person for guidance, I am all for that. But I think maybe the I don't want to call it the loophole, but the way to make that work within the confines of our existing law is that that priest or that religious official, they just get licensed as a therapist through Pillbox, and then all that stuff would
Well,
be
I will say there is
That is
a
difficult to
problem.
do, I will say, but yeah.
For example, as Siobhan well knows, and Malton and other attorneys, the DOJ has internal policy about mandatory reporting. So if someone comes to you and says, "I'm gonna go fucking blow up City Hall," it has been long-standing that as an attorney, due to your code of ethics, you're expected to, you know, come forward and present that. in terms of a religious figure being somehow exempt from that kind of reporting seems problematic to me, mostly because if someone has done something, most of the time outside of, like, let's say a domestic violence scenario, or and even then they reoffend. But
I
outside of
wanted
very unique
mandated reporting.
circumstances,
I
most
had
of the
this
time
added
the
as
act
originally as
isn't
a
tied
mandated
to
reporter,
a
and
unique
Sunny wanted that
circumstance. Most of the
changed.
time it's tied to symptoms, mental health, other criminal proclivities that make them likely to reoffend. So you want mandatory reporting so that it doesn't happen again and or spread to other people, etc.
So I will say that's on me. The initial pitch was that they would be mandatory reporters, but then there would also be privilege on the confessional. I thought that was unnecessary because, I mean, we're not even mandatory reporters. From my understanding, there's not many mandatory reporters in the city.
Yeah, why is the bar the DOJ for this?
Well, I'm saying that I would think that it would be I don't know. I'm just thinking morally, I think it's pretty dangerous for society if people admit to someone that they're going around killing people and that person doesn't report that.
Okay, so your issue is the mandatory reporting part, not the privilege, or is just kind of both all in one?
I would.
'Cause thought
You
the
can't.
Well, I don't think privilege
admittedly is
should
a big
extend.
ask.
Privilege,
Yeah.
well, for example, with lawyers, privilege does not extend to I'm going to go kill my wife.
Crime fraud exception.
That doesn't.
Yeah, it's
privilege
after the
doesn't
fact.
work
I
for that.
understand. Yeah.
Privilege only works for I killed my wife.
Exactly. So you would want them
I
to be
don't know.
mandatory reporters? That's
I don't know.
My understanding was that most people in the city weren't. Is why I
Let
I
me
just thought
read.
it
Let
put
me
an
read in
unnecessary
full the
burden on
text.
her.
I've been tinkering with these other charges.
Oh no, my caps lock.
Anything official with religion, I just, like I said, hard nay from me. If we're wanting to talk
It's
about,
not official, man. It's not like the state's backing
it's a
one
little
religion.
official.
No, it's not. It's
the
really not.
establishment of official religions recognized
I
by
took
the
off my
state.
caps lock
Why is-
because
What's wrong
Wizard
with
told me
that?
they were
It's
getting
not
a
like
bunch
we're
of toxic
backing one
hoppers.
religion.
Hold on.
People see the word
What's
religion,
up,
they're like,
Frank?
"Oh my God, no!
I don't want to
It
back.
can't happen like that."
I don't
Did
want
you say
people to have
Siobhan
to
wrote this?
file to believe
Yes.
in something. They could just do it.
Siobhan.
Okay, first of all, this is not how I wrote it. I wrote it differently. Crane, everything that you were saying, I had written in such a manner that you would have been on board with, as a matter of fact.
Well,
I
hold
had
on.
mandatory
No, that's not
reporting.
what my question is.
Oh, okay.
Did you write the title, Siobhan?
Yep.
Mens rea.
Why does it spell out men's rape?
For fun.
God.
I literally told Sunny I thought you'd hate that. That's hilarious.
Anyway, I had mandatory reporting. I thought would be required. So that was.
Who
It did initially
decides
have that, yeah.
upon completing an ordination program?
So I guess that's under the mayor's office, but like they're not ordained, so I don't quite. I guess it would just kind of be like a
Business.
thing,
Uh-huh.
but different.
That's the point that I brought up to her. I was like, so the mayor's office would be the one responsible for choosing ministers to ordain, and I'm like, okay, so the government.
Why does it spell out men's
overseeing
rape?
Religion.
I think it's an intra. I think it's just within the church if you're ordained or not. You know, that's all something that specific church can decide. If we're wanting to protect confessions in a religious setting, I think a better route would just have religious therapist, whatever you want to call it, religious therapists that are
advisors
or spiritual advisors that I don't know, like Pixie can hand out those licenses or something. I don't know.
Forgive me for being cynical, but isn't this just another way to do the marriage privilege, but with less restrictions?
That was my
and we did the marriage privilege.
Yeah, but we locked down like the judicial oversight and all the things that would
A
prevent
lot
the
of
abuse
money
of it.
behind it. Yeah, there's like there's a lot to get to that. Whereas this is just you could pretty much claim privilege for anyone because you're ordained.
And you can only marry one person. You know, it's like you could confess to how many spiritual advisors.
I'll wait till they ask me a question.
And be protected, you know, by all. You know, none of them can tell on you.
I should go look at the original one.
How many snitches do you get, Nakota?
Snitches?
Yeah, people who come to you and report a crime.
Few and far between.
Knock, knock, knock.
So what does this hurt in its current incarnation then, if it is not something that commonly happens with the police department anyway?
Knock. Are you guys okay?
Yeah, we're good. What's up?
Okay. We got a report. Somebody with a firearm.
Wait, what the fuck?
I mean, it may have just been in the building somewhere.
Hey, has anyone seen a firearm in here?
No.
Apparently not. Just got a
Nope.
report of it.
I'm just taking care of if you guys are good because
No,
we got a
I'm-
report of firearm inside City Hall. So, yeah. Oh.
God
so-
damn.
for us,
Yeah,
I'm
no,
on
we're
radio, we're good.
we're okay here.
Okay. Okay. Good. Thank you,
Bobby
guys.
Charles
Thank
likes
you.
to wave around a hunting rifle here, so maybe look for him.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. There you go. Fuck it, I thought I just wanted to bring her in. Alright, what we got?
I'm gonna be honest. I don't really fucking care about this.
There we go.
Don't.
There we go.
I think I've never gave a shit about nonprofits or religious entities or any of that. If you want to be a fucking loser in the woods wearing a robe and pissing yourself, go for it. I don't, whatever.
Yes.
There's
Thank you, Nathan.
two points of concerns. The one point is
Thank you, Nathan.
the privilege, correct?
Thank you,
I
Nathan.
don't think it's really a huge point of concern because of the I mean, as our PD liaison said, that the frequency with which people go to them to do what we are afraid that the priest will not be able to do courtesy of privilege just rarely, if not ever, happens. One. Two is the state recognizing where the recognized by the state with the privilege of the currently for ordained ministers grant only as such by the state. Los Santos is a different beast, as future legislation proposed will show, I think. As such, when you look at, say, the American government and the separation of church and state and stuff, it does not necessarily apply in its entirety to our island, because our island is a deplorable den of sin that it just... as our great Chief Justice has said in the past, the hundreds of years of legal precedents set behind all of the things that that were omitted from the legal and due process of Los Santos just does not apply to us. Therefore, any predispositions about separation of church and state insofar as this new process is concerned is not valid, because we do not have that same history.
Yes.
I'm good with all this. Max, before you go on this speech, I want to ask you a question. What does nonprofit get you?
Nothing.
Okay. Because in the past, people have only wanted nonprofits for tax breaks and shared bank accounts and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I don't even know how we would track that. So,
well, I would just propose we just don't issue them bank accounts.
Yeah.
Agree. I'm for that.
If they want to wear their fucking robes and talk to each other in their church or whatever, then go for it. I think we should take kind of the same policy we did with the other thing, where we basically say, all right, do what you want, but like we did with marriage, right? Like, we're recognizing this very, very narrow thing, but you're not getting anything else out of it.
Right.
It works for me.
And this will also open the floodgate for many more people wanting to open their own churches.
That is
good.
Yeah,
So
and we can tell them to go fuck themselves.
Yeah, it's the same, because remember how Crane, you were kind of like, and obviously you changed your mind, but you were like, I remember when Mr. K and Rami came down trying to get married so they could get spousal privilege and stuff and blah blah blah. Obviously you didn't marry them because you realized, hey, this guy is not at all passionate about what they are bringing forward. Like Sonny Brooks, who is extremely passionate about
She
this
is. She is.
and has been working so hard for this. It deserves to have something that is truly representative of that particular niche within Los Santos. It should be given that
Yes.
chance. But if I
Yes.
see a motherfucking
Fully.
Vagos roll up and he's like, hey, Vato, you know, I got the church of the South Side, Vato, you know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, I'm not going to give that guy through the process the ability to have this kind of privilege, you know?
So I think from my first thoughts on this is that maybe as it
The business
stands,
license
it's a little
already goes
much.
through a
But what if-
DOJ
what if,
check,
like you
right?
said,
Going through
it
Crane,
was
so you're
essentially
fine.
Kind of an offshoot of business proposals that you would just handle. They'd be, I mean, not necessarily nonprofit since they're just not getting money at all, not getting a bank account. I don't know if we need to make a impersonating a clergyman charge. That feels
That
a
is
little
something that
unnecessary, I guess.
she-
But if
she
there's
mentioned, but-
privilege, I suppose we'd have to make sure they don't just claim it. I don't know. Where could we land on this so we can do something with it? What issue, like Malton? What would fix this for you?
You just let people become religious therapists or however you want to define that. Then you don't. What they could claim whatever church they want. They could claim whatever tenets they want. They could operate wherever they say their religious place operates. It's just if you want this confessional privilege, it's still recognized by the state, but it's just through the form of a therapist's license.
I mean,
and
Father Tanner has been going around for years without anything like
I
this.
mean, he's a priest. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
and
do
he's
wonder
been
about the
offering it
necessity.
He was
fine.
ordained by the church.
He has always done that.
So-
The issue with the therapy idea, Malta, is that that doesn't mean much. To be frank, we do not oversee therapists. We oversee it's counselors that we don't oversee. Therapists, only about 4 are going to be hired.
I want to speak to what
So
that's
they're not
for.
overseen
That's for
by
cult leaders like
Pixie,
Kenneth
they're not overseen by
Jesperson trying to
hospital.
claim
Like,
some sort of
that
religious
doesn't
fucking
actually
clergyman
mean
nonsense.
anything. They're essentially just volunteers, so it doesn't really do anything. If that makes sense.
I mean, that could
I wanna
always
speak
be
to this.
changed, but I get
It
where you're
could,
coming.
absolutely. Yeah,
I get
yeah.
where you're coming from, and ultimately, whatever authority ends up issuing these, if that's the idea that people want to go with, I think it is up for it could be the mayor's office or pillbox or the board or whatever, right? I just think for me that's a better route. Is if the goal of this is to give people another avenue for spiritual enlightenment through like confessions or saving their soul from this mortal plane or whatever. I think personally that's much better accomplished just through the licensing of religious therapists that would have these confessional protections rather than non-profit church licenses.
Okay, I can see that. Max, since that would be under you, how do you feel about that concept instead?
I don't like it. Furthermore, I think that impersonating a clergyman is a crime is good, because there may, as soon as this comes out, there might be people who are like, I have a church too, obviously.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you know what I'm saying, and they didn't go through the process.
It is a slippery slope. Yeah.
Well, it's a slippery slope, but the thing is the mayor is the bottleneck. So there needs to be punishment for people who are trying to detract from someone who actually went through the process and got the thing approved.
Absolutely.
Good. People agree.
So I think that being a crime is perfectly fine to protect the interests of the state in the way that we are going to be
Good, and
overseeing
everyone
this.
agreed it. Perfect.
Furthermore, in the past, I've heard tons of shit about. Obviously, this probably isn't going to get a case where it seems like the streets have been kind of serial killer free. There are big cults in the past. Shit like that. I don't know. I think there's a lot of potential here. Sorry, my chair's a little squeaky. I got that.
Oh shit! Did it do weird things?
I think there's a lot of
Hold on,
potential
let me fix it.
to satisfy the needs of a relatively tame, hands-off, not one religion-focused thing. Therefore, is not exclusionary in that regard. I think it is not harmful. I furthermore don't think it is damaging to the police department's ability to prosecute people, given that people do not report crimes in this way typically anyway. And as it is written now, except for the actual process that the mayor would define for them to go through, i.e., me sitting down later to do it, I think it is pretty much perfect as written.
Yes. Yes. Good. 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 We need to play some religious music. Where's the
So let's vote it. I think we've all said our piece.
Oh,
Nay.
Any additional nayers?
I am also going to be a nay on this, only because what's the enforcement on this?
Are you kidding
The
me?
police department, Dakota.
Dakota, speak up.
Sorry, I was asking what the enforcement is going to be on this.
So it would be an official charge if we vote this in. It's $5,000 per instance of impersonating a clergyman.
I am going to abstain from this vote.
All right. Philippa?
I'm kind of torn. Sunny is really optimistic about it, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
And she's great. But I do not personally see the necessity of this. But at the same, I'm kind of going back and forth with
The
myself.
necessity?
At the same
I'm
time,
doing
this would be
literally
under
the same
you.
thing, Philippa.
And if you are interested in overseeing this, then I mean,
Then you're not going to
I'm
say
not
no.
the one doing it. So
we say yes.
I worry
Send it.
about like how widespread this is going to become. Who
It's not gonna be that
the
widespread.
ordained ministers are going to be.
I mean, in theory, that would be up to the church once their license was approved or their recognition was
Well,
achieved, rather.
So it seems like anyone who wants to be ordained as a minister would have to go for the mayor's office. It's not decided by
Correct.
the church. It would
Correct.
be each individual minister. So
They
that,
just didn't even
that's
understand.
good.
That's the check, right?
Yes. They can't just add random people to their
Correct.
list.
Why do people keep
It's
fucking
kinda-
assuming the
Meant that
worst?
the,
Holy shit.
Impersonation of a clergyman is a thing that we want to put forward as well.
Absolutely. If this were to go forward.
Admittedly, if we are allowing any
When I think of
amount
the council, I
privilege,
think
we
it's
kinda
filled with Republicans who aren't
have to
religious, and it's weird.
that, right?
Now-
But at the same time, if there's just a way to verify that they're a minister, then I
Are
mean,
we requiring mandatory reporting?
No,
Because there
not
was
as
back
written.
and forth. Not okay.
Juno. Oh wait, hold on. I forgot to vote. Yeah, I'm for this. Yeah.
You gotta come back. I'm writing the other vehicle shit. Just do me last.
So
Okay.
it's 1-1-1 currently, basically. Oh, it's-
Yep. Philippa, what was your
wow,
vote?
this is. I was still going back and forth. But at the end of the day, if you want to oversee it, it's
And
something
say yes.
that some people are interested in.
And
Even
say
if it
yes.
is not used much, fuck it. I'll go yay.
Send
Okay.
it. Thank you,
Juno?
Molly.
I'm gonna go yay. I mean,
One,
we try it
two,
out.
3.
I mean,
Yeah,
we
that's another
hear
thing
what
that
the
could be
public says, and I mean, the worst possible outcome to this is
And we have an abstain,
at a
so
later date
all we
if it
need is
doesn't go the way
Michael.
that-
But before we continue as well, I could throw a line in there about the council or the mayor having the ability to dissolve these things if they turn into like these corrupted
Hell
hotbeds
yeah,
of
good. Yes.
yeah,
Oh,
like
that's all they
just
want.
completely
That's good.
Plan
destroy
worked
them if they
perfectly.
That's
seem to be
worked
getting used.
where I was
perfectly.
going with that. Yeah, that's exactly where I was
Ciao.
going.
Okay, yeah.
Oh
if
my
we-
Thank you.
god.
If we do
We
that,
bring
then I
this
would
stuff.
be.
We bring
The
this
plan
stuff forward
worked.
and we can easily take it away. It
Okay.
shouldn't be all that
I would just
difficult
keep
if
checking in
we
with,
in unison
Dragon
agree.
or
or majority agree.
Fuck yeah. That's fine with me. Then. Just shut them down if they're being dumb. Easy.
Alright, sounds good. Good luck. Bye.
Yeah. If anyone else has thoughts, if there's like something they have an issue with,
Taking
oh my
candy
god, I'm
away
so
from
sorry.
a baby and watching
This
him
is,
fucking
it's the time.
cry.
But I got no issues with any other part of it if we're going to vote yes for it. Oh my gosh. I'm happy.
So I wrote, should the mayor's office believe that these organizations be utilized primarily for purposes of crime or subversion of the state? The mayor's office reserves the right to dissolve
I
these
do need one
organizations
like
without
that with
question.
Siobhan. I do, Audrey. You're right.
Yeah, that helps a lot.
Okay.
Michael?
Aye, aye, Captain.
Fuck it, yeah. Some people might really like this, and for the people that don't, it won't affect them. That's kind of what I landed on at the end.
Really, like you said, Sunny really feels passionate about this. I do want to give her the shot, I guess. And
Yeah,
then
same.
given the changes that we've made, I think that kind of puts some of my worries at ease. So
Good.
I'm willing to give it a shot.
Of course you are. Of course you
All right.
are.
Frank?
It is my belief that it's not my place to decide this. I think that if Max wanted to, he could just issue businesses licenses to these places anyway and make them legitimate through that avenue.
The fact that he's brought it to
really
you,
don't care
like the
about
Cantor
what people
did
do in
this.
their silly fucking robes and their sky fairies.
Sky
So
fairies.
at the end of the day, I abstain. Don't care.
We win!
So
Abstain,
five
this is a
five
big one.
pass, 2 abstain, one
Yeah.
nay.
Who was the nay?
Me.
Malton.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, this passes. I will, for the sake of transparency, I will in the future write out the precise process that is required by this mayor's office for this to become a thing for people. I will be doing it fairly. I will be doing it in a way that will prevent potential abuse, because I think that kind of detracts from the whole spirit of this particular act. I'm not interested in allowing loopholes for people to abuse this.
Hell yeah. Okay, perfect.
I think you guys will see that. It'll be fully transparent.
Oh yeah, no, I believe you completely. I'm not too worried. Yeah,
Okay.
if you're overseeing it, I like it.
Okay. Break.
Malton is
Gentlemen,
a true
ladies.
libertarian.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I need time to
Yes,
rifle these vehicles.
yes.
Yeah.
All
All
right.
right.
Max, you need to call your son.
Does anybody have food?
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm fucking starting to
We got-
decay
He's
over here.
panicking.
Downstairs now.
Oh,
Yep,
sweet.
vending machine in the waiting room downstairs.
Yeah.
Thank you.
hi. I gotta go pee in me office.
Okay.
Fun.
Do you know, I told him to call you. I told him he needed to text you back. I just wanted you to know, I told him that like it was really important that he do that. So I want you to know I did do that. I did tell him.
I'll be honest, that just very much felt like
I get it.
in my fucking face in front of everyone, complete. Just by saying, "Oh, I'm trying to have your back for making an ass of yourself," it's just pure. I'm sorry, but that feels like gaslighting.
No, I get it. I 100% do. I get it. I don't blame you at all. You know, but I wanted to let you
He's
know
saying
that
that
I
he's
did do what I told you I would do. I wanted you to know that.
No, I appreciate that, Siobhan. He's telling me that he's spoken to these people, and I'm assuming, and I'm gonna trust his word on that. I'll trust his word on that. But at the same time, he's either failed to communicate or he's failed to be transparent. In doing so, I'm receiving texts every couple days by specifically Lang asking for updates.
Thank you, Rod Frog.
I've gone to these people, giving them promises by being on that fucking front line, and I'm receiving zero communication. And then him saying that, oh, look at all the good work Michael's doing. I raised that fucking meeting. I called Michael. I called Michael, and I was like, let's fucking do this.
Getting all the fire, all the heat from the other people, and not getting any credit for the work that you've done. I'm sorry, Juno.
The whole reason why Michael fucking wrote it is because I haven't been around, because I've been sick. But the whole reason why he wrote it in the first place is because I told Michael, him and I, as the deputy mayor and chief
Wait,
of
let's
staff,
go to your
need
office.
to write this.
Let's go to your office to have this conversation. Sorry. So you were the one who called Michael. You're the one who was like, let's get this. Yeah.
And if anything, Michael was a little bit fucking hesitant about it. And I was like, no, we need to do this. And I told him exactly why we needed to do it. Because 1, Max wasn't around. 2, people were getting fucking impatient. And 3, we made fucking promises.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to fucking cover my own ass as well. Because perception matters a lot. And my reputation fucking matters a lot. I wish it fucking didn't, but it fucking does. if we don't do anything about it, and then he's telling me, like, I don't need to coddle you. Bro, that is the, and he is not coddling me. That is exactly the fucking reason as to why I reached out to Michael and I was like, let's fucking work on this.
I can imagine that doesn't feel very good. You know?
No,
when you don't get the credit where it's owed, and you're like, what am I, chopped liver? Well, here's the thing, Juno, it is because you deserve to be, you know, you
it's
deserve.
not about credit. I don't care about credit. It's the fact that my friend, who I adore and love, and I've stood by for months at this point, insulted me in front of people, and then tried to reverse shit by saying, why are you having this conversation now when he was the one who fucking opened the door to have that conversation? He was like, no, let's talk about it now. After a bunch of people intervened. You were there, Siobhan. Trying to fucking blame it on me. What the fuck bullshit is that? I don't care from a business end. This is my friend doing this to me. And I have to sit by and let it fucking happen?
I get where Juno's coming from 100%. Yeah. I mean, that wasn't very cool.
And then I have to fucking defend myself after the fact. I have to defend myself still, yeah. When I shouldn't fucking need to.
Well, I mean, Juno's in the right to,
as if I've done something
voice
fucking wrong
her
there.
grievances, right?
I mean, you know what's gonna happen.
She's been left on red.
I'm gonna have a conversation with him about this, and somehow I'm still gonna feel guilty about this whole situation. I'm still gonna be fucking put to blame that I've done something fucking wrong.
Well, that's what I was saying about credit where credit is due, right? That also means not blaming people for things that isn't their fault. Right? Catholic thing is give to Caesar what is owed to Caesar and give to God what is owed to God, right? You gotta give the right things to the right people, right? And it doesn't feel like you've been given what is due to you,
know what
which
it is, Siobhan? It's
I mean,
because he has
respect
an
too.
idea of me as the chief of staff, and I am not meeting that idea. That's it. He's had an idea of me from the start, Siobhan, of who he wants me to be, who he wants me to fucking become, and I'm not meeting that expectation.
Yeah, expectations versus reality. That's how people get disappointed.
Look,
or
I love the idea of me being his little protege or something like that, as much as the next fucking person, or being mentored by him. But I am my own fucking person at the end of the day, and I'm gonna have my own fucking flaws. Do not project that shit onto me.